Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to begin Session 1 of the Rearvland campaign, of which we are so lovingly calling it Songs of Rearvland. My name is Cameron Kolar. I will be the Dungeon Master for this tale of adventures that are going to be going forth. This is one of 3 parties we have. The first one of ever. This might be a little shaky, but you know what? We're going to get through it. I'm incredibly excited and eager to show it. So without further ado, let me read this introduction and we will begin. Fale'thazune, a cold and snowy land with mountains looming high above its frozen seas. The many cities and towns that decorate the land are home to a variety of creatures that belong to both good fortune and ill intent. Beaten paths, cobbled trails, and immaculate promenades carry the footsteps of millions, leading to an equal amount of opportunities for everyone. Political turmoil is no stranger to this land, as many of those who hold power do not achieve their positions peacefully. Exceptions to be made, there are more than a fair share of nefarious individuals that plague the serene, snow-fallen lands. The land itself lives and breathes with latent ley-line magic that courses through its body like magical veins. Vathan, a land of magical prowess and creation, is home to the elves of Fale'thazune, their cunning and hungering greed for greater magical capability serving as both a detriment and the salvation of their people. The 6 houses of Vathan, led by their holy maiden, struggle daily to find peace within their council. The people of Vathan cry out for more political representation to eliminate the ley line limitations that have been put in place. Some of the noble elite choose to hoard the magic ley lines for themselves, deeming those beneath royalty less than dirt and unworthy of such great gifts. Despite this political turmoil, a majority of elven culture revolves around the access and use of magic. To the untrained eye, elven architecture appears to be nothing more than an incredible feat of construction. However, it is created out of pure magical essence. Elven architects found a way to manipulate magic to create magnificent buildings that act as though they're made out of real materials. Floating above a great well of arcane energies, created by the terrible explosion of a King Rator, sits Vathan Rock, the elven capital. Home to the greatest seamstresses and tailors that Vathan knows, their skills and garments their silks and garments are sought after far and wide. The intricate patterns that decorate each article of clothing are enchanted with varying properties, all the more increasing their luxury. The twilight forests of Vathan fade into the snow-covered mountains, and the further west one goes, crossing into the border of Noverthune. Home to the highest peak of Mount Vir, Noverthune is a rich farmland culture that sprawls across the middle of Fale'thazune. The picturesque mountain ranges loom high above the verdant valleys below, casting an intimidating shadow for those unfamiliar with its winding trails. Various villages and resorts spot the side of the mountains and are frequently rented out for vacation getaways. Serving as the main agriculture and livestock hub of Fale'thazune, the valleys of Noverthune are widely respected. Farmers over the years have figured out ways to overcome harsh climates and infertile soil by infusing their crops with magic to aid in growth and yield. This experimentation has led to one of the greatest discoveries in Fale'thazune's history, essentially nullifying hunger. This has also turned Noverthune into one of the largest economic powers in the country, and is now shipping excess produce to the surrounding provinces, save for Lothwell. With all the grain being produced, breweries are very commonplace in the valley, serving as some of the country's most incredible ales. However, a rise in bandit activity has been spotted through the valleys, leaving many of Noverthune's citizens on edge. Rumored to be a criminal splinter group of Rearvland's own syndicate, the up-and-coming organization proves to be an incredible thorn in the side of those seeking to live a simple life. Novert, its capital, remains at a constant threat of the bandit splinter cell. To the south, where we will be, the absolutely massive trade city of Port Syndigal hangs on the coastline of Merchant's Coast, spanning over 100 miles from wall to wall. The capital of Rearvland, Port Syndigal serves as the trade empire for Fale'thazune. Its walls are homes to thousands upon thousands of merchants and trades from lands near and far. Trade Princess Vi oversees the political and economical operations of Rearvland, having the final word in what is imported and exported through its borders and ports. She is widely accepted and beloved by her people, and is considered to be one of the least corrupted trade rulers in the port city has ever known. But everyone has their price. To the south lies Fort Tulane. Headquarters of the famed Emerald Hand, serves as one of Rearvland's most inescapable prisons. Isolated from the rest of the country, the nearest town is a 2-week journey through forests and woods thriving with vicious wildlife. The Emerald Hand serves as the main army of Rearvland, and is often contracted by Noverthune to defend its borders. However, one organization continues to escape their reach: the Syndicate. Dwelling in the sewers of Port Syndigal, the Syndicate serves as a sanctuary for those who find themselves in hard times. Bards, thieves, pickpockets, swindlers, and all sorts of mischief doers call this place their home, as well as some innocents. Often blamed for pretty much anything bad that happens in Port Syndigal, this group has quite the reputation. Further to the east lies Fale, the remnants of the once great kingdom of Falstar. Bolshri, the oldest city in Fale'thazune, serves as its capital. The three clans of Fale are in a struggle for unity. Clan Farseer to the west spends much of their time studying the mysterious void they called Eld. Clan Grimfrost to the south, who currently holds the throne, wishes to restore the once great kingdom of Falstar to its glory, uniting the clans and reintroducing their old ways. Clan Frostfire to the north wishes to unite the clans to bring war to Vathan once more, igniting old hatreds and ridding the elves once for all. But our adventure begins, as most do, in a tavern. Broken Mast Tavern, located in the heart of Port Syndigal. Despite the early morning, the streets are bustling with foot traffic. Carts and wagons make their ways from the docks to their respective shops, hauling cargo from merchant ships hailing from faraway lands. The inn is alive, as usual, the brisk, salty air filled with discussions and laughter. You can hear the bartenders and kitchen staff barking orders back and forth to one another, attempting to fulfill their morning checklists and prepare for the onslaught of patrons. Today marks the first day of winter and marks a celebration they call Sikla, the Changing. Decorations line the merchant street, seemingly put up overnight. Lanterns high above the cobblestone illuminate the ground below, scattering various shades of blue, light grays, and whites across the storefronts and businesses, mimicking the colors of the looming snowfall. But back inside the warmth of the tavern lays a half-elf, quite far from home. Archulthos. The smells from the kitchen below begin to fill the room. And as you emerge from your first restful slumber in quite some time, you start to become aware of the sounds of the tavern. The bards are already performing their songs filling the morning air with glee. The barking of orders is going back and forth between the familiar voices of Guzor and the very angry halfling you met the night before. You open your eyes drearily and you kind of roll out of bed a little bit. The smell of... You can smell bacon and steaks, as well as some nice pork sausages wafting through the rafters below. You hear Guzor shout out, "All right, that's another one coming over to you!" And then once again, the shrill voice, "I'm fucking working over here!" The shrill voice of the female halfling calling up once again. Not the greatest of wake-up calls, but here you are. You also begin to hear the start of the horrible song. Actually, not the horrible song. The song that Guzor disliked very much. And you quickly heard him, "Enough!" And then it sounds like the bard, whoever is playing that song, kind of misses the note, stops for a second, and continues to play a different song. So, describe your character to us, please.
Starting with me?
Yes.
First off, DM, if I may, if you right-click on that Discord screen and click Show Non-Video Participants, it will look better. Yeah,
well, good point.
Oh shit, that is crazy.
Anyways, yeah, so my name is Archulthos. I hail from the far lands of Vathan. I am a half-elf. And I'm very young in my travels, but I have traveled far and wide to come here seeking answers and adventure. And yeah, so basically I just am very curious and young and brooding, and I don't know much, but I seek the knowledge that my mother is out there somewhere, and I'm very eager to find out where my Fale side comes from. I'm predominantly Elven. It's where I grew up, and I am here to go along for the ride, I guess.
All right, thank you very much, Archulthos. Now, you start to roll over. Do you do anything before you head downstairs?
I will make sure that I have my medallion tucked away, and I will have my scarf displayed of the Vathan colors that I acquired from Wheatley, the African linen vendor.
Correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay. And yeah, so I will head downstairs and I will find Guzor.
All right, you stand up and you tuck the pendants of the blacksmith of the Kalor tribes that you ventured from. Tuck it down your shirt, and you open up the door. The hinges creak a little bit, just a little bit as the door opens. Whatever, who cares? You shut the door behind you. It closes with a thud. And as you walk down the hallway, you start to see more and more people kind of opening the doors, venturing out into the tavern below. And you're followed by a trail of people. They nod and kind of they don't say much. You the way that they look very tired, very beaten. Looks like they are from the sailors' coast down below. But you all make your way down, or you specifically make your way to the staircase, and you walk down into the tavern. And let me see if this screen transfer. Holy shit! It worked first try. There we go. Sorry, my screen transfer worked first try. I got excited. As you enter your way down into the tavern below, the mahogany wood of the staircase, very sturdy and very soft under your feet. You take in the environment around you. At the table in front of you in the corner are the two fair maidens that you saw last night, once again being serenaded by the elven man, barding his way across in the corner. Let's see here. There we go. Lefyr, would you care to introduce yourself?
Yes. I am Lefyr Kazar, a young elven man. Look, I've got long black hair about to my shoulders. Very rough face, black stripes under my eyes, like some kind of makeup that, I've put on, but, it isn't really sticking that well. Look pretty rough overall, and, I'm just playing my music.
And as he is playing his music, you, Archulthos, you look around. The tavern is quite lively compared to what it was last night. Sailors, blacksmiths, and some other varying creeds are all partaking in the morning foods. You see Guzor behind the counter, frantically running back and forth, cleaning up some spills that were on the counter, and putting together some boards of bread, cheeses. You also see there's a massive amount of kegs that are kind of empty and spilled over into the corner right up here. Kind of odd for a lot of people to be drinking this early, from where you are from. But however, that might be a little bit different here. Guzor is running back and forth, chatting again with his patrons. Much of the tavern's atmosphere is very lively. There are people having conversations. You can, over to your left, you kind of hear the talks of some of the merchants talking about new goods and deals. You pick up a little bit, they're talking about some yak fur and yak wool, as well as some silk that they acquired from Vathan. Further down in front of you, though, the two tables, or the table with the two fair maidens, they are quiet once again, still drinking again the wine that they were having the night before, seemingly entranced by what Lefyr is doing. Then behind them is that same individual who sat all alone the night before, very sullen, very stone-faced, deep in his own thoughts. What do you do?
I will, since I'm a little more comfortable this time around, and I kind of have the atmosphere wrapped around my head, I will be comfortably sat right here. I will kind of straddle the bench, so I can kind of see the whole of the tavern, and kind of just have an upright posture, and maybe shout at Guzor and say, Guzor, if you have a chance, can I have your finest breakfast and drink? I prefer some type of
He seeks broke.
Morning drink, but something with a little bit of alcohol, maybe to lift my spirits and get me going on the day. I think it's good. Whenever you have time, take your time. I understand you're busy.
All right, one sec. And you see him bend over and turn around. He pulls up this massive wooden board and he sets it on the counter in front of him. There's a knife that's stuck right into the top of it. The music stops as he slams this board up on the counter. It shakes, knocks over one of the steins, and up on top of it is a great roast. You suspect that the young or the tiny halfling is scurrying behind the counter. She brought him this board. And he's looked back over it and he goes, "Do you want the usual that you had last night or no?"
Yes, I will take it. I will take it. Yeah.
All right. And he turns around, he picks up the barrel, picks up a stein, and pours the barrel over into the stein. The flow of the amber ale, dipping perfectly into it. Not a splash out of the stein at all. And he also scurries back into the kitchen, brings out a tray of breads and cheeses for you, for now. And then once he gives this to you, he will ask, Jesus, this is a fucking brutal morning. How are you? How'd you sleep last night?
Yeah, I took room 3, and it was a very firm bed, and I prefer that. And it was good. I was a dreamless sleep, and I slept hard and well. And I thank you for the comfort of your home and your tavern, and I very much appreciate it, my friend. It was very, very relaxing. As of late, it hasn't been that way, so I very much appreciate a good night's rest.
Absolutely. That's what we do here, Broken Mass. This is hospitality is not my middle name, but it probably should be. Well, here's some bread and cheeses for you, some ale. And he's gonna actually sit on the bench opposite of you, kind of taking a break from the morning rush so far, and he props his elbows up on the table, and he actually takes a piece of the bread that's on the board in front of you, takes off a small piece of it, and begins munching out a little bit. So what's on your adventure list for today, there, traveler?
Well, I do think that I need to find my companions from before that I just met, and I think I need to meet up with them, and I think we need to do some exploring. I would like to know more about the sewer situation and this ad hoc government that lives there, and I heard some whispers as I was passing by a couple of the alleyways last night on my way back here, and I am very curious. It's very different for me to know that there is an underground of living situation going on, and it's different, and I would like to know. And I know Abba is personally lives there, and I know that would be a good escort, and it is nice. It would be nice to have someone like Lefyr to keep the conversation going. I think someone such as a bard is good to have with you, if they will accept, of course. I don't want to venture alone, but if I have to, I must sate my curiosity.
And after hearing you say that Bard is a good companion, just loud enough for you to hear Lefyr over the shoulder of Archulthas, Guzor leans over. Hi, Bards can be a little finicky sometimes. And he's looking at you the entire time that this is being stayed, but he goes back and he talks to Archulthas. So what is it that you were hearing voices in the sewers, huh? But usually they're a little more calm and tame. Don't really hear too often.
So it's twice it happened. I was coming from the entrance back over by Wheatley and that area and the Axe, and both times I came, and it was the same Portaclus, and it was some murmuring and some whispering, and it sounded very sullen and sad and dark, and I couldn't make much of it, and I didn't want to interject or impose, and I'll say it, I'll admit it to you, Guzor, I was a bit frightened to go in there alone, so especially after dark, it was something about some kind of what I heard was like a deal or something about someone being brought back to life, and they said they come at night, come alone near this very tavern, and I was very confused by this. I couldn't make of it like it was like they had a dream or they met this person. I couldn't make too much of it, but it was very interesting, and I would like to learn more, but not alone, because I don't want to go in and not come out. You get what I'm saying.
Right. Interesting. Guzor takes one of the grizzly mitts, kind of runs it through his beard, deep in thought. Be careful. The dead prefer to rest, but do be careful. I do have it on a different note. Much avoid that. And you have every right to be scared of the underground as an elf from Vathan. Sometimes you meet some people who aren't too keen. But anyways, you told me last night that you were looking for your mother, and I couldn't help but think that there is the census bureau here. They might have some records if she's ever been through here. And that would at least narrow down your search quite significantly. I would recommend venturing to. It's just north of here, towards the Violet Citadel. You'll just walk down the thing, or down the main promenade, and you'll come across. It'll be on the right hand side. It'll have like the scroll and the inkwell and all this fancy bullshit on it.
I appreciate that information. I believe it could be of great importance to go there and to see if they have any record of my mother being here and living here or traveling through here. I don't know how they keep their records, but I think that is a great start, and I appreciate your knowledge, my friend.
Absolutely. Now, if there's anything else I can do for you, just let me know, and I will be back behind the bar. As he kind of points over, and you follow his finger over. There's the two very grisly-looking sailors that are both eyeing at him very, very angrily. You can see both of their steins are turned upside down and empty on the table in front of him. And he picks up, right, 1 sec, and he dips off behind, running away, dips off, jumps over the bar, and lands gracefully behind, picking up the two steins and filling it. Lefyr, you see this happen. You continue playing. You also see Audrethos sat alone at her table now.
I'm gonna walk past the girls, give one of them a kiss on the cheek, and then just walk to the bench and sit down with Art.
All right. As you walk by, which one did you kiss on the cheek? Which one?
The one with the red hair.
They both have red hair.
Okay, well, the one the closest to Art. Okay.
Okay. As you.
Fuck.
As you walk by, with this double tap kiss on her cheek. As you walk by the one that's sitting close to Arthlothos, and you give her a gentle peck on the cheek. You see her breath hitches a little bit, and she watches very shyly as you walk by, but then goes back and starts whispering between her counterpart at the table, sipping the wine out of the stone goblets once again.
Good morning, Art. How are you doing? How's the night?
Yeah, it was good. Slept very, very well. I got some breakfast for us. Please feel free to dig in if you haven't already.
No, don't worry. Guzor gives me food because I work here. Well, I play here.
Okay, I figured as much, but it's impolite to not offer. You know, I especially one of someone of your descent. I mean, we share some kind of blood. You know, you being elf, and I'm only half, but I was born and bred. You know.
Half, full. It doesn't really matter to me. It's all of it is stupid excuses to make other people feel bad about who their parents were, for no reason whatsoever. But
I very much agree.
But how was your first night in general? Not because I know you went out. You didn't nothing happened. I hope. They're not usually kind to, you know, outsiders out there. After
Yeah,
a certain time.
no, nothing in particular happened to me. I just, I've been hearing a few different times whispers from the sewers, and I'm very curious to explore there. Obviously, the city is bustling and beautiful, but I feel like I could spend ages here and without ever going into this underground. And I'm very curious to some of the whispers I heard. It very much piqued my interest because I'm studied in the ways of necromancy and with the warlock and the hexblade, and some of these things I'm hearing about resurrection and something like that. It very much interests me. So I want to know what secrets are hidden down there, and I feel like a good place to start would be maybe with you if you would like to come, and definitely Abba if we ever see the likes of that big halberd wielding halfling.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. However, necromancy, that is kind of freaky. Oh, I don't know, what are you looking for? A way to revive the dead or something? Like, what are you trying to find in the underground? Because it is a scary place, I don't go there often. It is only when it's necessary, really. They don't treat us kindly down there.
I would say not so much. I'm trying to look for a means of resurrection. I'm very interested in this story I heard. Bits and pieces of someone losing a loved one and getting them back. It rings true with me because you know, my mother, I've never met her, and I hope she is still alive. And if she's not, I wouldn't imagine bringing her back would do me anything good. But I wish to know about these powers that are there. I'm very interested. I'm a very curious mind. I very much yearn for knowledge.
I honestly can't say I've heard anything about it. It is, I mean, I hear a lot of stories about people trying to get loved ones back, but usually it's a tale as old as time, honestly. People trying to get loved ones back by any means. I think it's hard, right? But I don't think, at least not here, it is worth it to go down there. Unless we have somebody that we know. And I mean, Abba knows the underground, but personally, I wouldn't go down there unless I have to. But if we have Abba and he could show us around and, you know, he knows some people there. I mean, if he comes along, I'm sure it will be fine. But I won't go there just us two. That would be signing our own death.
Yeah, I very much agree, and I understand your caution. The offer is open, and obviously I won't venture there alone or just with two. I definitely think a guide is very much needed, for sure.
But as you two are continuing your conversation, Guzor, two steins in one hand, and then two platters in the other. The platters are filled with sausages and what looks to be a very, very nice tender cut of beef, as well as some eggs appear in front of you. Once again, some more bread on the plate as well, and he sets both the steins. So, Lefyr, what did we say about you playing that fucking song again?
Listen, it was to impress the ladies, you know it. It was not... I'm telling you, I'm trying to learn a different song. It doesn't just go 1, 2, 3. You need to think about this. Can you tell me a song?
No,
tell me a song.
I can't. You kidding me? I'm a bartender. Fuck that. But maybe I'll encourage you. What if you write one of the songs about your lasses over there? And he points a big thumb over to the redhead, one of two, that is completely turned around in her chair, ignoring her partner behind her, and is looking straight at you, Lefyr.
I'm gonna do like this, like a little wave, and then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna talk to Guzor and say, listen, Guzor, you know, I can't resist beauty, but she's not it, you know. She's not the personality. Doesn't. It wouldn't fit for any songs I have or I want to make.
So you've got a soft spot for romance, huh? Look at you. And he reaches around and claps you right in the back. Poof, and knocks you forward a little bit with the amount of force that was in that.
You know I'm not the strongest one. Please don't do that ever again.
Oh, you're fine. I'll leave you to it. Once again, if you need anything, let me know.
Guzor,
Aye.
do I owe you anything for the past week? Just because, you know, you've been bringing me the food. I don't know if I owe you still anything or not.
We'll talk about it next week, eh? Don't worry.
Alright, that's fine.
Don't worry, Dad.
No problem.
Enjoy your breakfast.
Is it okay if I go out later?
Why? You don't. No, I'm not your dad.
Oh, I mean, I didn't.
I'm
think
not
so,
your father. I mean, would you like me to say
but,
no?
No.
All right, no, you're
But
not
it was
allowed.
just for the job. Okay, come on.
I mean,
Don't push this further than you.
absolutely. The back door will be unlocked if you ever need to come in later. You know the drill. You know.
It's happened so many times. Just, you know.
Just
I'll be back.
if you come back this time, make sure you fucking clean your boots off first.
Listen, the boot
Please?
thing was a one-time thing. It's been almost 3 months.
Oh, it's a
How are we
one-time
still
thing, and
talking
my
about that?
my floor was stained for 4 weeks.
Well, it's gone now, isn't it? And who cleaned it up?
Enjoy your breakfast. And he turns around.
Thank
and
you, Gazal.
he doesn't say
Or
it.
bastard.
Hops back over the counter. And as he hops over the counter, he lands with a thud. And then there's another one. And the tavern starts to shake. You hear you almost bounce up in your seat a little bit with the anticipation of it. The steins on the table kind of shake a little bit, like something very big and very, very loud is approaching. The tavern once again continues to shake as it gets closer and closer. The music stops, and then appearing at the front door, opening the door slowly, is the young halfling, Abba. Opening the door slowly with the tip of his halberd on both sides, and he walks in. Abba, would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah. So I am playing Abba. I am a 2'9" halfling with white hair and a big ass halberd. Abba is a friend, and that's all you really need to know about him.
We all knew what was coming.
Yep.
We all knew what was coming.
as the doors this time creak open, Guzor peers up from behind the counter after losing his footing. The music once again picks up. And Guzor kind of peers over the counter, cleaning up some of the ale that are looking, and he looks over the counter. He doesn't see you at first, and then he leans over a little bit more. Looks, and he goes. He yells across, "Thanks for not fucking ruining the walls this time."
Oh yeah, I was just, trying a different entrance. Thought I'd mix it up a little.
Can you fucking warn me next time you want to do this?
He never does, and it's never changed.
No. I assume I spot them over there.
Yeah. You walk in. Immediately to your left are two very angry individuals. As the shaking, though seemingly harmless, did startle them a little bit. And there is now beer spilled all over the table. There's another orc man sitting alone on the left side. He turns around and he looks at you over. You think you recognize him from the gladiatorial rings. You go. And he goes back. He goes back to enjoying his meal. The two individuals at the bar ignore your presence entirely. You recognize them as avid tavern goers. They are way more prepared than this than Guzor is. But as you pan over to the right, ignoring some of the other bars that are playing around in the corners, you see the two individuals that you met last night.
I blatantly ignore everyone on the left, and I basically head straight for this table,
All right.
and I pull myself up onto the bench. Hi, Vince!
Good morning, Abba.
It's good to see you.
Glad to see you guys are still here.
Yeah.
I've always been here.
Just enjoying some breakfast. And if your mother hasn't already made you breakfast, help yourself. There's too much for me, but
Oh no, yeah, she makes breakfast every morning. I'm fine.
What did you
You're
eat?
not- Eggs. We don't have a whole lot in the sewers, but we got plenty of eggs.
delicious. Yeah. So about the sewer, I'm very curious about it. I know it. You know, Lefyr here isn't too excited, but if all three of us venture together, I feel like we could, you know, be intimidating enough for any quarry, and you could guide us through. And I would very much like to see it. I heard some whispers on my way back, from yesterday after I left you, and I'm very curious about the whole ordeal, and it just I don't know. It's very new and fresh for me, so I don't know if you are available for a tour or anything like that. I'd very much love to do it sometime. It doesn't have to be now or today. It can be at any point. I just wanted to let you know that I would like to explore your home, friend.
Yeah, I can definitely like help show you around, but I should definitely point out, like, if you hear whispers down there, those people tend not to like you interfering with them. You know, they can be a bit mean about it. But yeah, I'll definitely show you around the parts I know.
Excellent. Well, whenever you know, if all three of us go together, I would very much like that. I think a party is better in numbers. So. But that is only if we all agree. I don't want to pressure anyone. But if you have any chores or errands to run today in the city, I will accompany you. I would like to explore and not be lost.
And after
Anything that can get me a song.
as you all are continuing, once again, Guzor walks over. This time with a small pint of the same beverage that you drank last night, Abba, before going back to your mom's house and calling it for the evening. So, Abba, any big training today? Gonna be fighting today at all? Anything fun, exciting?
Potentially. I mean, it looks like we might be going down into the sewers again to show these two around.
All right. Well, if you come back, just wipe your feet off. And he, once again, he doesn't have to peer around you, Abba, and he just kind of like looks right at you, Lefyr, winks, and continues on. What is it that you're looking for in the sewers, if I may ask? Other than the voices that Archulfos was talking about.
I would say, Archul Fast was saying he wanted to get shown around down there, so he asked if I could show him around. So yeah, I don't know what he's looking for down there, but
I'm very curious. I just want to know how it all works and how it came to be, and I don't know. It's just something very new. The city has so much, and I want to see it all. You know, danger or not, I believe that I can handle myself, and with a couple of the locals, I think we'll fare just well. You know.
Right. That's, well, I'm sorry that you all don't have sewers in Vathan, but here in Rearvland, usually the sewers carry, like waste and things like that out to the ocean. And he kind of like looks around, a little sad that his joke fell flat immediately, and he goes, right, that was a really bad one. If you need any help, let me know.
Wasn't your best one.
I know,
Guzor,
it's early.
Do you remember where I left my rapier? Will it be with my stuff?
That's a good question. Let me go check the storage for you real quick. I don't remember.
Appreciate it,
Yeah,
because
be right back.
I wouldn't feel comfortable.
Aye. Yeah, be right back. One sec. And he runs
The
out.
food is excellent as he walks away.
Thank you.
as he walks away, like as he's just out of like just hearing distance, I kind of like lean over and whisper to Lefyr, "Hey, was I supposed to wipe my feet before coming in here from the sewers? Because I don't think I ever have."
I don't really know. It was some weird thing where it was 2 months ago. I was out at night and my shoes were dirty and I made the entire back door a mess. Anyway, long story short, don't have sex with shoes on, okay? If you know what that is. Do you know what that is, Abba? I mean,
Yes.
like when... Okay,
Well, look, we don't patronize him. I mean, he's
young, I
probably
don't...
knows-
How old is he?
Well,
How old
halflings-
are you, Abba?
I'm 35.
Halflings age very fast.
Oh,
Why? How old are you guys?
I am only 20. I've just come into age. You know, I am very young. So
yep. I'm
What
also
about-
20.
Oh,
I knew it. I knew it. I could see it in your eyes. Very
It wasn't
very.
the eyes. Is it my eye? And you're
They
gonna
don't-
see like red, like a very deep red outline around my eyes. Like, is it? What is there something wrong with my eyes?
They look not as aged as one would think.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, alright. That was a weird way of saying that, but okay.
I'm sorry. I'm just. This food is so good. As he digs
That's-
back in.
Well, that's one way to change topic, but yes, no, I guess we're younger than you. Abba.
weird.
Yeah,
Oh,
that is
so-
actually kind of weird.
I'm curious. Kuzo has mentioned training a few times. What exactly are we training for?
Good question.
Oh, I'm trying to get into the gladiatoring. You know, I gotta find myself a team. Hey, wait a minute. There's 3 of us.
I am not a fighter.
Anyway.
I am.
Yeah, no, I'm training to be a gladiator, but I need to find a team and, you know, get fully certified? Question mark.
Yes.
Okay.
So there are fighting bits here and things like that.
Yeah,
And
there's
that games?
the gladiator thing is pretty big around here.
Mm-hmm. True.
That is another thing on the bucket list that I must attend one of these events. It sounds exciting. I
It
don't
definitely is.
I don't think I've ever witnessed such a show of force. You know.
And Abba, you would after hearing this, you remember that the next big ticket fight is in about 2 weeks' time.
So I mean, we have about 2 weeks until the next big fight. So we could probably go see that if you guys are still around. I don't know how long you guys are planning to stay in the city.
I'm here to take me where the winds take me, as they say. I'm here I'm for the ride, you know. So, you know, I've met you two, and you two have very much come into my liking, and I think that you know, if we stick together, we're stronger in numbers. You know, I think it's a good thing we have here. You know, it's fresh, but it's good. I like it. I have a good.
Yeah! And I'm gonna like slam my little hands on the table.
All right, you slam your hand on the table, and as opposed to expecting the big thud, Archothoth, it's more of just like a little. Abba, you then quickly do it again. This time, channeling the same energy, and it goes. And you are visibly shock the table on around.
I can see why you're looking for a spot in the gladiator ring. You have what it takes. I can tell.
Oh really?
Especially,
You think
especially,
so?
especially with that very sharp, pointy thing. I would not want to be on the end of that.
Oh, my halberd? Yeah.
Ah, yes.
It's pretty nasty.
How
When I
do you
get
have
into a
that
scuffle.
much strength in that little body of yours?
I guess just lots of training.
Do you want to arm wrestle me?
Sure. I'm gonna
Okay.
walk. I'm gonna do my whole slide off the stool, small bit, and then walk to the other side to be opposite from him.
Okay.
I'll scoot over and yes, this is good. This is good. I'm morning show of strength.
All right. And as you two are clearing the table in front of you, pushing the dishes to the side and propping up your elbows and shrugging off the shoulders, getting ready for this arm wrestling match. Guzor walks out of the kitchen. Lefyr, you turn and you look, and he has the rapier in his hands, as well as your travel satchel, and the little gold purse that you keep tied to it. And he walks over to the table. What's going on over here? Oh, we're having a little bit of an arm wrestling match.
Well,
Oh yeah.
hell yeah. You see, I mean, every time he enters here, he makes a scene. Right?
Aye.
He just made a cup jump on the table when he slapped his hands on it. I've been training, okay? I've been training a decent amount, okay? And I want to see if I can beat him. A
What's
little
up?
challenge, you know? A little gamble. Little game.
What do
You
we?
guys like game?
A little gamble, eh? Let's up the ante here a little bit.
Oh well.
10 gold on Abba, and he off of his belt, he throws a little coin pouch on the table, and it lands. It's still tied, so none of the gold spills over the table. I'm all for a gamble. Let's see. And he pulls up the chair behind him and pulls it in front of him, straddles, and rests his arm on the front side of the chair and just looks across the table.
Give me my pouch.
And he hands the pouch over to you.
And I'm gonna put 15 gold on the table.
You've got some stones on you.
I'm very confident right now.
All right.
Abba's gonna like shuffle with like his pouch, and he's gonna put 5 gold up because he doesn't fully understand gambling.
Perfect.
All right. So 20 gold here.
I would be remiss if I didn't join in, and he slaps another 5 gold down.
All right.
Oh.
So we've got ourselves
Come
a
on,
wager.
Mm-hmm.
So it was 10, 15, 5, and 5.
Yes.
All right. Sitting in front of. Sitting in front of the.
Betting
Oh.
on Abba, by the way.
Oh, you're betting on Abba? Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see how it is.
20 gold to Abba, and then Lefyr, your 15 to yourself. No. Let's raise the antics a little bit, huh? Are we doing a one match, or are we doing 2 out of 3? What you all doing? Are we just going the one and done?
2 out of 3 sounds fair.
Okay.
Alright.
All right. So, on the left side, Helen, from the underground sewers of Rearvland. Though he do be small, he do be mighty. Abba Santaban. To my right, a bard long known to the Tavern of the Broken Mast. An elf, more fluent in the ways of speech and dialect than he is mighty,
More, yes.
but nonetheless a very worthy opponent, Lefyr Qatar.
Give
he's gonna-
me 5 seconds. I want to read something from the handbook.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna grapple me or something? Like so the first roll you're gonna do? Fucking grapple me.
I just want to double check I have something correct.
He's gonna vault over the table and just he's put you in a chokehold
Kick
and
him
yeah, submit.
He doesn't know what like
Oh,
what
wait,
we're
arm
talking.
wrestling doesn't mean just using your arms to wrestle?
Well, for the sake of simplicity, we'll do this off of strength roll. Highest number wins.
I'm gonna like
I'm gonna
pep
DM you
myself
something,
up.
Cameron.
What was that, Abba?
I'm gonna DM you something. I have a question.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna pep myself up and like look at the ladies and be like, I've got this. I'm the best.
Um,
And I'm like, you know, like getting like those fighting hands, like.
Okay, and as you're hyping yourself up, your head head down, headphones on, you're deep in thought, imaging your hand wrapping around this halfling's hand and pushing it down to the table first, and then again, and then winning the pile of gold that is on the table right now. You're very excited. And then as this is going on, you feel very gentle hands around the backside of your shoulders. Very gentle and very soft. They kind of rub up your back under your shoulders, and they begin massaging the deep tissues of your shoulders. You have no idea who this is.
That's fine. I'm not even gonna look back.
Question. Kim.
No, it would not.
Like it wouldn't make sense to.
No, it wouldn't make sense to. It would not make sense to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this would not be considered combat.
No,
any
this
way.
no.
So,
No.
Okay,
Before we get started, I want to make it even more interesting. If Abba wins, we go and do what Abba wants to do today. If Lefyr wins, we'd go and do what Lefyr wants to do today. I think this is interesting. It thickens the plot a bit.
But then don't you not get to do what you want to do today?
As I said, my friend, I'm here not to do what I want, but to explore and adventure, and you two are the most knowledgeable people I know in the room. Obviously, besides Guzor.
Guzor looks very offended at first, but he's like, all right, you're safe. You're safe.
It's very good food. Very good.
Are you sure you want to bet that? I'm gonna like lift my eyebrow and be like, I don't want to spend my day with yaks, and you don't want to spend your day looking at women on the beach. Okay, that's the look I'm giving you. Okay. Are you sure you want to do this?
I mean, I am as sure as the day is bright.
You know what? If I win, we'll do what you want to do. Because that's actually a pretty good bet. I like it. I'll keep it in mind.
Guzor is like, he's kind of now sitting back in the chair and just looking at what's going on at the table. He's like, he's rubbing his eyebrow. I thought this was just going to be a simple understand match. We all talking politics. Are we ready yet?
Yes.
All right.
And I'm like gonna tap the hands on my shoulder, like that I'm ready to go, you know?
All right. You brush your hands up onto the fine, delicate fingers of the woman you drive by and pecked on the cheek.
Okay.
And you smell, as you kind of lift your hands back up and bring them back down, it pulls with it a gust of wind, and you smell the very, very gentle scent of lavender and vanilla go in front of you. It smells very, very fine. This is perfume that is quite expensive from what you have experienced in Rearvland.
Okay.
And
gonna look behind me, like vanilla, like ask her.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you like it?
And I'm gonna look at her and just look back, cause I'm concentrated.
She
I wanna win this.
After this, after she does that, she gets a little bit closer, and you feel the hands get a little bit tighter, and she's pushing a little bit deeper into the massage. I have more scents if you would like to smell them. And she leans back. She doesn't say anything else.
Yeah. Okay.
Archibald Thoughts, you see all of this going on the opposite side of the table.
I am not even listening to what the woman's saying. I'm just ready. I'm prepared.
All right. You two put your elbows up on the table and you clasp hands. Lefyr, Abba's hand is very small in yours, and your hand actually like kind of wraps it over. It's like you're holding onto a small rock. And once again, you question how this little halfling is able to hold a 20-pound halberd. But you quickly brush it off and rezone. Abba, your hand is being engulfed by this elf's hand. It's not a very strong and veiny hand. The fingers are slender. You can feel as his hand overtakes yours. The tips of his fingers, where they're digging in, they're very rough and callous. from the many years of looting inside the tavern. Guzor finally smiles. He says, "All right, now it's time." And as this entire encounter was going on, you begin to see people from the tavern Altrothos. You start to see all of them kind of direct their gaze over to the table, and they're either leaning back and talking and pointing, or they're leaning forward and are very intent on what is going on. Oddly enough, this is arm wrestling events inside this tavern. They're very commonplace, strangely enough. I don't know how you guys did this. Guzor wraps a big mitt over top of both yours and holds both of it steady. You can feel his grip tightening a little bit, constricting, and his knuckles are turning white. He's gonna look at both of you. I want a fair fight. Whoever's hand hits the table first, the back of their hand hits the table first, is the winner. You all know the rules. As soon as I let go, I will say start, and you will fight. Are you ready? And a wicked grin overcomes him. Lefyr?
I am very ready. I have trained for this for at least 3 days. Let's go.
Oh, that's what you call it. All right. And he takes his hands off, and he goes, "Start." Give me strength rolls. Oh! Abba.
I knew I was gonna lose based on rules.
Abba, you are ready. You are gritting and start. As he says, starting, it kind of shocks you a little bit. You weren't quite ready. The anticipation, and immediately your hand is just slipped onto the table. And sitting across from you is now a very grinning and yeah, he's a grinning elf man that just beat you in an arm wrestling match.
Oh.
Abba?
I wasn't ready.
Are you
All
sure?
right, 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3.
It is 2 out of 3.
I'm gonna pull my hand through my long black hair and just like I was prepared for this. What can I say?
All right, I'm gonna stretch. You know, raise my little arms up. Crack each individual knuckle.
God.
I'll pat Abba on the back and just be like, you've got this. You've got it.
Okay, that was the right. And Altrothos,
My rolls are gonna be awful.
you again look into the tavern, and some of them are laughing, others are kind of visibly upset, as if they had gold writing on this as well.
They probably without us knowing.
And you go back, and Guzor readies you both up, once again placing the big bear mitt over the top of your hands. All right. This time, and he turns to you, Abba. When I say start, that means go.
Okay.
And it looks like Lefyr doesn't say anything. Just sniffs.
I'm ready. I'm ready
All right.
to win all of that gold that you just gave to me.
He braces his hand, and Lefyr, as you say that, you can kind of feel the pressure on your hand increasing, as his grip is now kind of, and he sees it, and he lets off a little bit, and takes his hands off. Both of you are locked, bracing together. Your arms are beginning to shake a little bit as it goes, and Guzor looks from both of you. 3, 2, 1, start. Give me the rolls.
Yes.
I'm gonna just walk off.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first nat 1. The first nat 1.
It's actually a nat 0. Well, it's not a nat 0, but it's a 0 because of a -1 strength.
My
Fuck!
God.
Okay, that was. Fuck, I was not expecting that one. I was not expecting that one.
All right.
Oh.
Abba, you get ready and you
Fuck.
embrace. The big bear mitts come off, and you hear the word start, and you close your eyes, and the next thing you know, your hand is on the table, and you can feel it behind. You heard the shake of the with such force that you have, what you thought, have pile drove the hand of Lefyr into the table. There's a tiny little dent in the wood, a little bit. Lefyr, the 3-2-1 start hits, and you weren't quite prepared. The aroma of the lavender, the vanilla was kind of infusing you, and your mind drifted just a little bit right as the word start hit. And the next thing you know, you look, and your hand is smashed on the table, the tiny fist of the halfling pinning it down.
Oh, fuck! Oh, shit! Fuck! That one hurt. That one hurt. Yep, I'm fine.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to hurt.
God. Shit! Well, I know now how you're doing that shit. Oh! Does it look like broken or like fucking like a massive bruise or something?
No, it's a little red from where your middle knuckle hit the table. It's nothing yet, but it's like it's much akin to if you hit your thumb with a hammer. It's nothing yet, but you suspect in the next 15-20 minutes it's going to start throbbing and pulsing a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, that does not feel good. Oh.
Guzor looks very excitedly over at Abba. He goes, "Well done. Are you all right, Lefyr?"
I'm just fine. Give me a minute, please.
Wait, hold on.
Oh,
I'm just gonna send you this cam because I just opened back up the handbook. But this is an actual line in the book, so I just want to double check.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, no.
So it does make sense then?
No.
Okay,
No.
Okay.
You'll know.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. You know what? I just realized I copied and pasted the wrong line. I don't know how.
I know which line. I think I know which line you're gonna put.
that was so unlucky.
Also kind
Yeah,
of wipe
that
the
one.
sweat from his brow and just say, I knew it, you had it in Abba, but let me remind you that it is 2 out of 3 and it is 1-1, friends, and it is time for the final round.
Okay, yeah. But
Wait,
so
we're going again?
So would that be something that Abba would think about? Is the basically getting...
Not yet, because the last couple times that you've arm wrestled people, you tried it and nothing happened. You've
Last couple times I think, no.
yeah. You've
here.
you kind of suspect that it's not something yet, and that your faith isn't too set in stone just yet. But you can experiment with it if you like.
No, I'll leave it for now.
Okay.
I'll leave that for late game.
Guzor
Wait,
looks
we're
back.
going again?
Yeah, Guzor looks back at you, Lefyr, and do you want to go? Do you want to forfeit? We can just call this here. What are we doing?
Are you trying to attack my pride right now?
I don't know. Am I? And he gets closer and he grins. You definitely know this grin. He's playing the mischief card on you. Am I?
I'm gonna look at my hand and go, fuck. Let's go. Let's go. I'm not a pussy. Come
Good
on.
lad.
Come on, Abba. Let's go.
Good lad. All right.
I
Okay.
lock my tiny hand back into his fist.
Once again, you lock your tiny hand into the bigger hand of the elven man sitting across from you. The thrill of victory slowly subsiding as you now focus in on this match in front of you. Lefyr, the elven, or not the elven, the hands on your back stop as she allows you this time to focus, and she steps back a little bit. You are now, she's no longer giving you the massage. Archulthas, you see on Lefyr's right hand as you're looking towards it, the middle knuckle is very red with the impact, and you can kind of trace the line back down, and there's 4 little dents in the table.
Yeah, Guzor, I think a very cold cask or something needs to be put on that after, but
I definitely
must
agree with that.
we must conclude.
All right, you all know the drill, and he takes his hands away. 3, 2, 1. Start. Give me the rolls.
Fucking one. It's another fucking one.
Oh no. Abba, as soon as start hits, as soon as start is said, it's once again the same energy pulsing through. You can feel all the training of the gladiator reminiscing coming up from your core. through your right shoulder and into the tiny balled fist that is being wrapped around this elven hand. But despite this, you grip the table and you slam it down. Lefyr, you feel a great surge of energy come from the arm opposite of you. And you initially halted it up at the top, but there was nothing you could do as the overwhelming power of this halfling smashes your hand back down on the table, fitting it perfectly into the grooves that were carved the match before.
Abba hits the tavern with a very loud "Let's go!"
Yeah, okay. And as you pop up, about half the tavern cheers along with you and lifts their "Hey, let's go, Abba!" They lift up their ales and they start chanting your name. Abba, Abba, Abba.
Shut up!
It gets louder.
Abba will pull himself onto the table and he's just like, yeah.
It gets way louder. This man, Abba, the individual who's sitting at the table, very sullen, comes over and picks you up and puts you on his shoulder, and starts kind of carting you around the tavern a little bit in a very showboaty, robust way. Lefyr Guzor looks back at you, laughing hysterically, and he goes, "There's always next time, huh?"
Was it really necessary? Give me some ice. Fuck.
I'll get some
Give me
ice
some
for
ice.
you. And Guzor goes back into the kitchen, hopping over the counter, and he runs back out with a canvas pouch of ice for your hand.
Thank
Here you go.
thank
Here you go. And
just put it on and like visibly like almost tear up like that. That's how much pain I have.
okay, Abba, as you are paraded around the tavern, everybody cheering and giving you high fives and clasping you on the back, you actually almost get knocked off the shoulder as the brutish hand of the orc goes right up on your back, and you stagger on the shoulders of this fail man. He comes over and sets you back down on the bench, and he goes, "Good work."
Thanks, Fant.
You have no idea who this is, but you say
I'm
thanks, man.
well aware.
He looks
He's Fant.
okay, right.
All offense to Abba.
And he goes back to the table. Guzor comes over to you, Lefyr, with the canvas of ice. It's starting to melt a little bit, but he goes, "Here you go, here you go."
Thank you. 2 more days of training and I got him. I'm telling you.
Right, 2 more. Maybe try using the left hand next time. And he winks at you.
Just gonna middle finger him. Like, fuck you, dude.
Abba's actually gonna look semi concerned. He's like, "Your hand's not hurt, is it? Like, you'll still be able to play your instrument, right?"
Good question, Tim. Will I be able to play my
Yeah,
instrument
you'll
still?
be able to play your instrument.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
the
think
back
I'll
of
be
your
fine.
hand. The back of your hand is beginning to pulse as you feel the radiating heat of the with every pulse of your heart that is pushing blood into it. It actually feels like it's growing and expanding with each pulse. But your fingers are working pretty fine.
Oh. Yeah, I'll be fine. I should be. It's not my fingers, just the hand.
And as this is going on, the God. Actually, hang on. Oh.
Oh no.
The maiden that was behind you, once again places her delicate fingers on your shoulder, and leans down again and whispers into your ear, "At least you have the other hand." And then she doesn't say anything, and as she walks away, she trails her fingers across your back from one shoulder to the other. Once again, that smell of lavender and vanilla washing over. She approaches past Guzor, kind of knocking him on the shoulder a little bit, and ventures past you, Abba and Archulthos.
What
and
is this,
you,
petty?
yeah, you guys also smell the lavender and vanilla scent of this individual. She goes back, sits down, crosses her legs, crosses one leg over the other, and picks up the wine and begins conversing with her friend again. Guzor
Does
looks.
she have a home here?
Depends. Are you gonna let her in the room or not? Because she won't fucking leave me alone.
She's not really my type.
Fuck. Well then. Abba, congrats on your victory. And Guzor takes a hand and he slides over the gold beddings over to you. Add 35 gold to your inventory.
Did you account for the 5 gold I put in?
Oh no, add 40 gold, sorry.
I I was saying, like, I never took the 5 gold out.
Oh,
so
okay, yeah. Okay, so add 35 to your inventory.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it was me gaining 35.
Yes,
it wasn't
yeah,
me gaining
yep,
30,
yep,
and that
yep.
the 5 was the additional.
Yes.
I've only lost gold so far. I've not won anything.
You literally haven't won anything. The coin that you made from this morning's session of Bardic Inspirations is now gone.
Basically. Yep.
Guzor will stand up and puts the chair that he'd be sitting on back into the table behind him. So, whose adventure y'all follow in today? And he kind of mocks at Lefyr.
Oh, I think we're gonna follow Artful Fast.
Very good. You're getting better at that. You're getting way better at that.
So, wait a minute. I did not agree to this.
Guzor doesn't say anything. He smiles and laughs. And Ultrathos, he looks at you, and once again he gives you the fail salute, and rushes back to the counter to attend to his duties once again.
Hey, well, right,
I mean, he was gonna do it anyway. He's too nice.
it's true.
Let's be honest.
That is true. I did say I was going to show you on the sewers.
Yeah, so, we might as well, if you want to go, let's make sure your hand is okay, and then, we should
Yeah.
get to it.
Yeah.
Maybe find the nearest entrance, or less spooky or active. I don't know.
Let me put on my stuff because I don't like going into the sewers like this. I don't trust it. Let me go put on, something more good.
Maybe
for that place.
maybe your friend over there would like to watch you.
I can dress myself. And I'm gonna walk to my room to go and put on my leather armor.
Okay. Lefyr, you stand up and venture out of the downstairs, and you head upstairs to your room, marked number 5, that you've actually scratched out and etched in LK. You go and put on your leather armor, and then while you are up there, Arshultas and Abba, Guzor comes back over to you both, and picks up the platters. Are you all through with your meals?
Yes, it's very good and invigorating, and it really got the blood pumping,
All right, I'm glad you enjoyed. And he looks back towards the counter. Despite how angry she is, she does good work. And he kind of winces, and you hear immediately from the closed door behind the tavern, "I heard that, you bitch!" And he winces. Yep, knew that was coming. Guzor picks up both of the platters, leaves his signs there as you see some of the drink is still in, and before he departs, Artulfos, if you'd like, I can give you the exact path over to the Sensibiro. And I think I know who still works there too. I'm not sure, but if you'd like that information, I will more than happy hand it over.
Please, I think actually we maybe should go there first. I think it's probably better during the daylight. Okay, yes, I would appreciate that.
All right, I'll be back with a little note for you. And he scurries back off, sets the 2 wooden platters, and this time, as opposed to hopping over the bar, he goes down to the edge.
Uh-oh.
There he goes.
What?
There he goes again.
Oh, am I back?
Oh.
Am I back?
Hold. Cam,
Am I back?
Cam.
Am I back?
Yeah,
Cam,
you
hello? Oh.
DC'd like
Okay.
You like
Yikes.
dip for like 10 seconds.
Yikes.
All of us were like,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
shit.
Yeah, I guess my...
You're good.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, my internet cut out. My bad, boys. What was the
Stream's
last
still
thing?
going.
Yeah. What was the last thing you heard?
Scurried off.
Cam, you may want to shift the server location because I heard you cutting out earlier. It could be the Discord server itself.
No,
as well.
it's my internet. I lost stream connection there. It rained last night. Pepe hands. All right, my bad, boys. Everything fine? Good now? Okay, cool. Yeah, so Guzor scurries off from the table, and this time, as opposed to jumping over the bar, he goes towards the edge and actually lifts up the proper door for it and walks through like a civilized human being. He sets down the wooden platters, and then underneath the tavern, he dips down, or underneath the bar, underneath the bar, he dips down, pulls out a pad of parchment and a quill, inkwell set, and he begins writing down the name of this supposed scribe over at the Census Bureau. He walks back over to you, Artelthos, with a note in hand. This was the last lad that I knew to work there. His name's Elisis. Here you go. And he hands you the he hands you. Yeah, we're gonna do that. He hands you the parchment. It's very sloppy handwriting, and this is exactly what it says on it. Lisa's Census Bureau. You obviously know that bureau is spelled incorrectly, but up to you if you make note of that. But yeah, head over there. He might be able to help. I don't know if he's still there. It's been some time since I've head over. But right, and if he is there, let him know I sent you. I haven't spoke to him in a while.
DM, do I hear this as well, or because I'm upstairs, I think.
Give me. Actually, let me see something.
Or do I know this person? Maybe just...
You wouldn't know this person.
Okay,
no.
then I
wouldn't
probably
know
won't
this
hear it.
Yeah, yeah, you wouldn't hear of anything important. You hear them talking about the Census Bureau, but you don't. There's nothing of importance to it.
Thank
Okay.
you, Guzo. I really I appreciate it.
Right. Travel safe.
I will, and I will be back. I fancy this place very much, and the energy here is something I yearn for.
It's a good place. I'm quite proud of it. And he looks around and like inspects the rich walls of mahogany, and then over to the painted frame of his previous ship. Keep the key if you'd like. If not, I can have it back behind the bar. The room's yours until you choose to not have it. I will. I'll see you all later. Guzor ventures back off, and at this time, Lefyr, you are now making your way back down the tavern stairs, dressed in your leather armor, the rapier tied to your hip, to your left. Are you right-handed or left-handed?
It's right.
All right, tied to your hip.
So it's like on my left.
On your left hip. Yep, tied to your left hip. It's strung through the two eyelets to keep it steady. And you venture on down the stairs to your companions who are just now finishing up their meal.
Alright, I'm ready. Where did I put my... And I'm gonna grab my loot. Just like put it like behind me, between the bag and my back, I guess. I'm gonna be like, whenever you guys are ready. Now...
Yes, I am Marmetti, and I'll kind of give a little tap on the back to Abba, and then I'll say, that is a nice sword. It looks fine crafted. I think this will be a good day.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So I have this note from Guzor, and it is the Census Bureau, and I think if we go there first, and maybe if you know of an entrance around that area, Abba, then maybe we can go sewer diving.
Would I know about a sewer entrance over there?
Yeah, on the north side of the city is one of the four main entrances. All around the Broken Mass are four of the larger entrances into the sewer, kind of congregating around the middle of the city. You would know that there is one towards the north side where the Violet Palace is. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain there's one over there, but...
All right, and you all gather your belongings and begin your venture out of the tavern. You open the door, the cool morning air, the saltiness of it kind of stings a little bit as it hits you. Now a little bit overwhelming. As you look down the sprawling streets out from Broken Mass Tavern, you see way at the end of the walkway, gives way into the pier. Seagulls dot the sky, almost blocking out the view of the ships that are lying and waiting in port. There are hundreds of ships ferrying in and out of the port, each of them veering off left and right or continuing on a little bit deeper into the coves. You don't hear any of the merchants, as a majority of them are off to the west side of the promenade. But as you guys walk into, B6 broke again. Cool. B6 broke. Sick. But as you guys walk into the grand opening of Broken Mass Tavern thing. Music, please. There we go. Okay. You guys walk to the front of the tavern and look behind you. The grand facade of the tavern, adorned with the polished stone and intricate carvings of Fale runes, akin to Guzor's background. You walk around the backside and you gaze up. The walkway that leads straight to the Violet Citadel is completely clean on both sides. It's as if nothing can overcome this threshold of both of the street, both left and right gully that go up into the main entrance of the Violet Citadel. What looks to be almost a mile away, but given how large it is, it appears to be much closer. The four purple peaks of the towers, Archulthos, which you took note of previously, are now blue. They're now a light shade of blue, and they're pulsing yet again. The sky is filled with floating lanterns, all various different colors that scatter the light across the cobbled stone. Abba and Lefyr, you both know this. You both know that today is the changing Sikla, and it is a celebrated thing in Rearvland. Sikla. It is a celebration of the changing of seasons as fall gives way into winter. This being the first day of winter. Across the precipice of the streets, however, there's strings of lights or like cut out parchment that children would cut out. There's various snowflakes. Some of them are pine trees, but the atmosphere is very bright and cheery. Looking further to your left, Archulthos, you see that sewer entrance, the portcullis that you saw previously the night before. And you kind of the memories of it are flooding back in. Do you say anything?
I will point out. I will say, well, that is where I heard the whispers. So I'm not too jumping for that one. It is a little as they say, suspect. So I think I have this map here, and it shows we go north, and we can head toward the Census Bureau, and then we can find an entrance and see what we can seek out.
Alright, sounds fine to me.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining me, friends. I appreciate that. This is going to be fun. I promise. I don't know much, but I put my arms around both of them, kind of like this.
Very, very disposed.
Yes. Both of you at my side. There's nothing that can stop us. At least yet.
Yes, I was about to say. I think we'll be fine. It sounds like it's gonna be fun. And I mean, as long as I can...
Of a drag, no.
Okay, fuck. As long as I can, get a story out of this one, I'll be more than happy.
I'm just happy to have some new friends.
And
Excellent.
Lefyr, that word kind
You're
of
too
stings a little
sweet,
bit.
though. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Um,
I'll visibly don't know if I like it. It's still like,
mhm.
weird. All right.
Weird.
Weird.
All right. And between the two of you, Archulthos, your hand resting gently on Abba's head, the mat of white hair kind of poking through it. It hasn't really, it's not very soft. It is very coarse, and kind of greasy a little bit. And when you take your hand off, you can see a handprint in his head from where your hand was. And then your hand around the elven bar that sits to the right of you. You look up the northern street where you know the Census Bureau to be, based off the map and the information that you received from Guzor, and you all begin walking down. As you walk down the street, the atmosphere begins to change a little bit. You are now entering the more professional business side of Port Syndigal. As you pass the shops, there are fine potteries and fine jewelries that are actually, as opposed to the shanty shops that you saw, Archulthos and Abba, that you know well, as opposed to the shanty shops that are set up beneath the houses, they are actually fully closed, doored in with great window panes, glass panes that are showing off the wares of what is inside it. You pass jewelry shops. Yes.
Anything inside the jewelry shops that catches my eye instantly? Like anything that's like a beautiful gem?
Yes.
Like that would.
Yes,
Okay.
actually, as you pass the jewelry shop, the banner of it, not having a name, but the icon or the logo for it, is a what looks to be a finely cut diamond, that says it says Rearvland onto it, like right underneath it. You have
a souvenir shop.
Yeah, you haven't really been to this shop at all, but you pass by the front window. There's on the base floor. There's three tiers. On the first tier, which is sitting right at the level of the windowsill, are golden chains and silver amulets that are all scattered around very haphazardly, as if they were kind of just dumped out onto the counter to display them. The second tier, the only thing on it is a tremendous sapphire. It's shaped in a teardrop. And it's cut very intricately. There's in the middle of it, there's an engraving. It looks like it's embedded in the sapphire itself. There's an engraving of the front view of the Violet Citadel. And you know this because as soon as you turn off to the left to kind of compare, it looks it exactly matches. And then the third shelf is crowns and tiaras that all have various rubies and emeralds, and other gems on it. Nothing crazy, nothing too crazy catches your eye other than the sapphire that sits in the middle.
I'll just take note of it. That's all.
Okay. And inside you can also see some people that are bargaining and haggling for cheaper prices. There's also a goat that is sitting in there, which is being led by two orcs. And one of the orcs picks it up and kind of holds it out to the merchant, and you see the merchant shake her head no, and the orc sadly puts the goat back down. You all continue making your way down. This time on the left side of the street. Archulthos, this is curious to you. You see the crest of Vathan, that emblazoned eagle, the black and gold. You see the crest of Vathan, and it says Elven Seamstresses. It's a seamstress shop. You would know that the Elven Seamstresses are some of the most renowned in Fale'thazune and are very, very sought after. As you guys pass the bay window, you see elegant gowns and formal dress suits as well. Black matte satin with the gold trim, much like your scarf is, Archulthos. And then various other gowns in the back, through the remainder of the corridor that kind of seems to go on a little bit farther than it should, bending the walls of reality. Again, more elegant dresses, intricate corsets that are all tied together beautifully, up at the top with runes and engravings made out of golden thread. Archulthos, you know these threads to actually be enchanted and contain magical properties.
So I will just kind of stop there and kind of say, you know, in Vathan, the elven seamstresses such as these are very sought after. I don't know if you've ever visited here, but this is impressive to see that they're all the way out here in Port Syndigal. I do wager once we have a good amount of coin in our pocket, and if we ever get invited into the Citadel or some form of event, or if you just want to look lavish and stylish, I would recommend coming here. The elven magics are woven into their cloth, and I think that this is a good place if we ever want to look nice or to even have some extra magical enhancements. I do love to see that this place is so diverse and has, you know, odes back to my homeland and everything else in the world that I have yet to explore.
And Lefyr, as you recognize this shop. This is a shop that your mother has frequented quite often. You remember coming with her when you were a little bit smaller, and you would sit up on the same windowsill booth that is now on the backside of the fine matte black suit with the golden trim that is sitting right opposite of it, and you would gaze up at whatever wares that were there as your mother would try on dresses in the back and flow out her elegant white hair, flowing with the same light and daintiness of the dresses that she wore.
I remember coming here with my mother. It's a nice place. Beautiful dresses and everything, although personally I like clothing that isn't magical. I don't know, the magical clothing and everything that, you know, most of the things that the elves make, even though I'm elf, I don't know if I can trust completely. It's a weird thing about me, I guess. But I mean, there are some nice dresses in here that probably don't have any magical properties. I can't remember, but honestly, my mother comes here, so it's probably not bad.
Curious, actually, Lefyr. Since you have elven descent,
Yes.
Do you hail from here or from Vathan or
I was born here. Yes, I was born in Port Syndigal. I've lived here my entire life, actually. Been outside the walls a couple times, but just to the neighboring cities, really, or little towns, villages, as you call them.
It's a very big city. I couldn't see how one could venture out much when you have so much here. So, yeah, I just wondered about that because it's very weird and odd to me to see elves outside of Vathan. You know, it's like
I see, but
it's different.
There is a lot to do here. You know, there is.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The thing is, sometimes it feels enclosed. You know, the walls make you claustrophobic, even though it's this big of a place. So one day I would like to venture out, but I wouldn't say right now is the time. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, you should. I mean, it's becoming kind of colder. It would be harder to travel, but I do enjoy traveling very much, and my travels sent me here. So I mean, there is a lot of world there, and I mean, thousands and thousands of miles of just open country it does wonders to the soul for sure.
I mean,
I do miss living out in the wilderness.
You lived in the wilderness?
To an extent, I lived in a community, but we were kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Where exactly?
Yes.
You were predominantly to the eastern parts of Rearvland, and kind of in the borders of Noverthune.
I'll
Abba.
take it.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that is where the halfling tribes kind of originated from as they ventured over to Port Syndigal because they were tired of being eaten by the wildlife.
definitely haven't been.
So yeah, let's continue. I think it's definitely this place is good to note.
Do you see yourself as somebody that would shop here often?
I've once I have a coin in my pocket. I don't have much to my name, but I think, you know, there are some things I picked up from Vathan that have some formality to it. So I feel like this place is where you go if you are going to a dinner party, or you invited from royalty, or you just want some very cool magical enchantment. Like if you flick your scarf and all of a sudden you are poof, you are in a nice outfit. They could do that, I'm sure.
I see. However, royalty, and I'm gonna like look at him like kind of not only royalty. There's other people that go there. Don't worry.
That's true. It's very true. I maybe I am naive in this, but I just, like I said, I know a lot of the customary ways of Vathan have taught me that.
You're not from around here, so I understand.
No.
But
Yeah. I'm not. So please correct me if I say the wrong thing.
you'll figure it out soon enough. Do not worry about it.
He kind of starts sweating a bit, like.
Abba seems mesmerized by the idea of a scarf that puts on an outfit, and you can see him just like he's just like thinking about it, and he's like making like a scarf like swishing motion. He's like, great.
Can you check your damage open?
Yes.
Thank you. It's a good question, right?
It is.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
At a later time. So as you all are continuing this conversation, walking down, the very, very well-dressed individuals are ushering to and fro as you guys are kind of walking in the middle of the street, to avoid cluttering up the fronts of the stores. To your right, again, as you a little bit further on down the road, as you pass once again more jewelry shops. You also passed an enchanter's shops that is tied together with one of the alchemists. On your right-hand side, there's a postal shop, and then right behind that is the scroll and quill that Guzor told you about, Artolthas.
Okay, so then that is, I think, our place with the. And he'll point to the scroll and quill. And I think that is the bureau. If I'm saying that right, I'll look at the paper. Yeah, that's it. Just hopefully that we'll make this quick and see if they can have any knowledge, and if not, then we can go about our other business, kind of dirty business, if you call it.
And as you say the word dirty business, there's an elven couple that brushes past you, and they're like, they look you up and down, Archilthus, and you kind of see out of the corner of your eye, like they're eyeing you, and they continue on their way.
They've never seen the likes of me before, apparently. He kind of fold his arms and side eye.
All right, and you all make your way over to the Sensor Bureau. You open the door. This door is made out of a light oak, with the 4 panes, each a different color, with a red, a blue, a green, and a yellow pane all emblazoned into it. You open the door, and you are immediately introduced with the smell of old parchment, inkwells, and of the sources. It smells like, in here, it smells like a nice book, a very comforting book. Sitting behind the desk that is in front of rows and rows and rows and rows of parchment that are either tightly bound or leather bound as well, rolled up and stuffed haphazardly in the shelves, is an older failed gentleman, and he's very deep in his studies. The half moon glasses sitting low on the bridge of his nose, his white hair thinning away, much like mine, into wisps up above, cleanly shaven, wearing very simple simple clothes with a scarf around his neck to keep warm. But he's scribbling away. He doesn't seem to notice your presence just yet.
So I will kind of take a whiff and yes, a familiar smell. And then I'll walk up and I'll sit and I'll kind of get close to him and say, are you excuse me, are you Alice's?
No, I'm not. Who asks?
My name is Atrothos. Excuse me, I am looking for this man. I have come for some information. If not, if you have any information for me, if this person I seek is not around, I would be okay.
What's in your hand there? And he's looking at the note that is in your hand.
This is some a direction from a friend.
And he looks down and he may take a close look, please.
I'll kind of I'll hand it over and just say, okay, yeah.
All right. A very thin and bony hand kind of shakes his way towards you, and he grabs it and he looks down the bridge of his nose, magnifying. A friend of Guzor's. Welcome. I am indeed Alisis.
I'm gonna start chuckling. Because I know exactly what he's on about.
Now tell me, what are you looking for here in my shop?
So I understand that this is the Census Bureau.
Yeah, that is correct.
So I'm looking for a name, also than anything else. Maybe some information around the name Deep Mark.
And as you say that name, he gently sets his quill down, the feathered part or the tip part of it dripping into the inkwell, and the feathered part laying gracefully up on the up on the parchment that he was writing on. He looks very deep in thought. I don't recall Deep Mark 2. Let me. I'll be right back. And he holds up the thin bony finger that is shaking, and pushes off the wooden stool, and you hear and he hops down, and ventures off into the back, sorting these movable pillars that have no label, but to him he's very familiar. It seems like he's very familiar. He knows exactly what he's looking for. He pushes the pillars down. The wheels kind of rusted and creaking. And it gives way to another section of rolled up parchments, either very brightly colored, the new white of fresh printed, a freshly laid parchment, or very old and yellow of some of the older ones. And he ventures on down, and he disappears behind the corner. And you all are left kind of waiting in the front reception area. If there's anything you'd like to do or say between now and then.
I kind of just look at them and just shrug. I hope he comes back soon. I hope this doesn't take too long.
Don't mind it. Do you need any gold or anything? I don't know how much you have from your travels.
I don't have a lot, but don't worry. I will find some means on my own.
I don't know how much it costs here. That's the only reason I'm asking.
Oh, does it cost money for
I
a name?
don't know. I'm wondering. That's.
Oh no, I mean I have around, I believe, 50 gold pieces. I believe something like
Okay.
that.
I'm gonna look around, see if there's anything that again stands out to me, like something valuable, or
Yeah, I just kind of
or
want to look around. see
nice,
what's around us.
or like that could be, special. I guess in a way.
Yeah,
Just looking at-
you look around and to the left side of the oak door is a coat rack, and hanging up on the coat is a simple hat, a little floppy bribbed hat that comes to a point, and then there's a coat and a scarf hanging up, but there's nothing too out of the ordinary here. Nothing that immediately strikes you as wow, this is incredibly valuable. It's a very rustic shop.
Okay.
And then as you were looking around, your gaze pans back over to the path that had been parted in the bookshelves, and coming down is this old frail man once again, but this time he carries a big leather bound book, and he sets it and he walks toward you, kind of shuffling along, his feet dragging across the soft hardwood or the soft wooden floor, and you can actually see the path that he's following is something that has been engraved in the floor so many times. The inner parts of the path being a lighter shade than the stuff around it. It's a very, very well traveled road. He gets back up to the counter. He sets the book on it. It lands with a soft poof. It pushes the parchment out of the way. And he climbs back up onto his stool and scoots a little bit forward. Now tell me, what Deep Mark?
Yeah, Deep Mark.
Okay, it was a first name.
Oh, yeah. Tess Deep Mark. Tess or Tess? Which one was it, DM?
Tess.
Okay,
Yep.
Tess. Sorry.
Okay. He sets everything down, clears out the inkwell from the left side of the book, and flips it open and plops open. Another thud. As the book curves into the middle. Its pages are more of a beige color. There's a little dust up on the top side of it, but nothing too notable. He scrolls and flips through the pages, and he stops and he looks. Do you fail a fail individual? He looks back up to you.
Yes, a failed descent.
My last records are 10 years old, which means she hasn't been in the city for quite some time. 10 years ago was the last register, and he turns the book around, and there's a painted picture. I will pull this up on Roll20 if I can find it. Nope, don't have it, so I'll send it to you. Apparently I didn't add that one in yet. But there's a painted picture of a very young fail woman.
Can I look at it as well? Like try and
Yeah,
look over his
like, do we
shoulder or
all-
something?
Yeah. You absolutely do. I will send this.
I was not very secretive about it. He's like
I'll post this in
stretching, like,
I'll post this in
desk.
the Rearvland channel.
Alright.
Post this in the Rearvland channel. There we are. All right. But sitting
I'm
before.
definitely not gonna make it obvious that I'm trying to look. Like I don't want to impose, but
But sitting before you, Artelthos, is a very young painting of a woman with auburn hair, the same green eyes, fair but tanned skin, wearing a simple traveler's vest. It strikes you do recognize a little bit from your childhood, but it's more of like a fleeting memory.
Archulthos will kind of just study it for a bit and then kind of
For everybody in chat, this is what it looks like.
he'll just kind of scratch his head a little bit and clear his throat and that is it. He's trying to like fight like choking up a bit, but that is thank you. So you said 10 years ago, yeah?
Yes, 10 years, and he slides the book. He slides the book back around to him and pulls it a little bit closer. Was 10 years ago was the last. I don't have much more information I could give at this time. However, if I will do my research and get back to you if you would like.
Yeah, sure. And by the way, again, my name is Archulthos Gilivre, and I am in your debt now. And I appreciate what you've done here today. Thank you very much.
Think not of it. This is what I do. And he stretches out a bony hand for a handshake.
Shake his hand.
All right. The leathery skin is old and wrinkled, but his hands are very soft. And you all shake hands, and he leaves back. Now for the other two, the tall one and very small one. Is there anything that I can do for you two today? And he's actually like looking over the counter now, down at you, and then up at you, Lefyr.
not for me. Thank you very much. I was just here to, go along with a friend. That's all.
So Abba, being the naturally curious little scamp he is, he's gonna look up. He's gonna be like, "Wait, so there's just people in that book? Am I in that book?"
Yes. What is your name?
Abba.
Abba. Curious. I will be back. And he closes the book and he slides it back off the counter and hops off the stool and heads back. And a few moments later, he comes back out. Another book. This one, same bound, leather bound in the deep brown leather. Sets up again. He opens it this time a little bit further on. And he's browsing through. Now, what is your last name?
We'll stick with the placeholder of Nizanta Band.
Okay, interesting. He flips through. He flips through, but then quickly goes back. Yes, a young yak. And he turns it around, and he tilts it over the counter so you can see, and kind of like drapes it over, but holding on to it like with his fingertips and pressing it up against the counter. And Abba, you see yourself.
Oh, it's me. Yo, hype.
What was that? All you?
Oh yeah, I was just really curious if I was in the books.
Yes, I have every registered citizen in Port Syndigal in my books. And he pulls it back up, closes it, and taps it gently, very, very lovingly. He takes you get the idea. It takes a great pride in what he does. Now, if there's nothing else I can do for you, well, I will get back to my work.
No, you've done everything, and then
Thank you very much. Yes.
he will come through and come into his view and just give him the fail salute, and in his fist he'll place a gold down on the table and say thank you very much.
Where did you learn that salute from, if I may ask?
A mutual friend, Guzor, taught me.
How is he doing?
From the looks of it, very well. His tavern is bustling, and his bards is particularly the one standing here, is very good at what he does and attracting attention, and yeah, it's great.
I try not to. It's a natural charm.
I see. Well,
If you want to come by someday, just down the road. How far is it from here to there?
I know where it is. Thank you. I will.
You should definitely come by. The drink will be on me then.
He kind of looks he looks almost through you. Perhaps I will. Right. Well.
Can I insight check him?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I want to insight check him.
Lefyr, as you meet his eyes, despite him looking through you, seemingly looking through you and out into the streets, at the patrons that are walking by. You meet his gaze, and as he's looking through you, you venture into his mind a little bit, and the look that he's giving is something longing, as if something is being missed. But he is very true in his intentions to visit that tavern off of your word.
If there's a story you want to tell, I'm one for stories. So. That's all.
Perhaps on that drink you promised.
Now that sounds good. I'm gonna grab Abba and put him on my shoulder.
Oh.
Like grabbing.
I was like, can you? Like, so
I don't know. I probably can't.
I am wearing chainmail and carrying a helmet.
Yeah, that is true.
Just to be fair.
That is true.
Like, I was willing to
I will assist. I will assist.
Okay, you all lift Abba in the air in unison, like two very proud parents lifting up their baby boy.
Why are we lifting Abba?
Oh,
Nothing lifting Abba. That's all.
okay, very nice.
I'm very confused. I'm like,
Per-
what the fuck's
perhaps,
going on?
perhaps you all should join the circus with that performance. Very good. And he claps.
I'm gonna feel offended by that. I'm gonna like the circus.
Well, you all just lifted a halfling in my shop and nearly put a hole through my roof with his halberd.
Oh shit, he has a halberd.
Yeah, and I will kind of like say, okay, yeah, it was fun. Let's put him down.
yeah. Listen, I'm gonna.
Sorry, Abba. It seemed like a good thing to do at the time.
It seemed like a good idea.
Oh my god.
Let's go that way. And I'm gonna like awkwardly walk out like this never happened. Like
Kind of wait for the other two to exit, and I'll kind of sit in the door, put my hand on like one of the entrances, sides of the entrance, and kind of just nod at him again and go about into the street.
Come back in a few hours or tomorrow, and I might have more information.
Thank you very much.
Ta-ta! And you close the door and you venture back out into the streets. And that is where we go to take our first break. Where we left off, you all had just ventured out of the Census Bureau. Archulthos, you had gathered the information that you were looking for in terms of finding Tess Deepmark. I always forget that last name.
I tried to work up tears. I couldn't think of anything sad though.
I couldn't think of anything sad.
yeah, that's dedication to the roleplay. All I'm saying.
Yep, you love to see
I
it.
tried.
As you all venture outside of the establishment and back into the busy streets, Abba, you know exactly where you are in terms of relation to the northern sewer entrance. It is right up the street, down about five or six shops to the right, and at the end of an alleyway, there is a grate that you could lift up and venture down in. Do you choose to lead your friend down there? Your friends? Your companions?
Is that where we want to go? Do we want to go to the sewers now, or was there more business we had here on the surface?
I want to explore. I mean, if unless you guys have anything else to do. I mean, if Lefyr, if you have anything in the side of town that you would like to gather before we venture, I want to get into it. I want to get my hands dirty. It's been a while.
Not at all. I really don't have anything that I need to do anymore. Maybe later this evening I go back home for a bit, but that's it. I really don't have anything to do. Abba, any things we need to know about before we go down there? Because, I mean, all I've heard is rumors. That's it.
Yeah,
So
Abba.
what would I?
Yeah, so you know the northern part of the sewers to be not the riskier part, but they're very they like to try to charge a tax for entering into the sewer. Think of akin it much to the Riften Guard as you venture into Riften. You know that they sit at the end of the corridor as you venture down the ladder, and if you decide to delve any deeper, they ask for a tax, or you will have to convince them. That's typically why you don't frequent this side. You know that much of this part, very shady individuals, typically thieves and pickpockets, reside up here.
So with where we're gonna be going in, I guess the primary thing is just, keep an eye on your stuff, A lot of people down there, they'll try and take your stuff. They're kind of mean. So just anything like small that they could, get off of you, just make sure it's like secure in a backpack or something.
Okay.
Watch your coin.
I will take off. Oh no, I will tuck in my scarf more and kind of make sure it's covering my necklace so there's no sign
Okay.
that I'm wearing it.
You hide the chain with the medallion underneath the scarf and then pull your collar up a little bit and tuck it over, hiding any of the valuables that lie underneath.
But yeah, so I'll start leading us through the streets to the northern entrance.
Okay. You all make your way down the remaining of the street, getting a little bit closer to the Violet Citadel, but then immediately veering off right into a very small and cramped alleyway. This alleyway going on for about 50 feet. For about 50 feet in front of you, and sitting in front is a grate on a hinge that is propped up ajar with like a wooden peg that's stuck there to keep it from closing all the way.
I'll walk up to it and I'll just like open it the rest of the way, make sure it's like slung open.
Yeah, you open it up the rest of the way. Look down. There's a metal ladder that's rusting near the bottom and kind of up towards the middle. But at the top of it, it's a little bit cleaner. As much as the rainwater drips down and collects at the bottom of it.
I will make sure I head down the ladder first.
Okay. All right. Let me.
If there's anything you like, can just like DM me, Cameron, that you think of that would be good to know, just to have of the sewers.
You aren't too well rehearsed in the northern parts of the sewers, as you do kind of fade away. You know of the kinds of people that reside here. The first time that you were in Port Syndigal, this is actually where you ended up.
Okay.
This is where the halfling tribes kind of collected and then dispersed to the eastern parts of the city instead, near all the merchant shops. But this one lying directly underneath the Violet Citadel. You also know, Abba, is where you met Grandmaster Flea the last time you were here, when you were talking to, when you and the halfling tribes were discussing you all setting your arrangements, like the tax that we talked about last time.
His name is Flea?
Yeah, F-L-I.
And I'll make sure I go in after Abba, so like Abba Lefyr sandwich.
Abba Lefyr sandwich.
I'm at the back? Okay, alright. This is gonna go very well, I'm sure of it.
Alright. Tokens set up here.
What was his name again, DM?
Here you go. Grandmaster Flea. Grandmaster F-L-I. I almost said E, but it's not. It's F-L-I.
And he is... What is he exactly? He's just the Grandmaster of that side of the underground?
He runs the syndicate. He rules the underground. This is the head honcho. You've heard his name before.
All right.
He's a very not notorious criminal, but he's a very sought after individual by the Emerald Hand. But they can't catch him. All right. So Abba, you're going down the ladder first, correct?
Yes.
Okay. As you venture down the ladder, the bright and cheery atmosphere of the city above fades away. As it now becomes the wrong music. I'll get better at this, I swear. As the music starts over again. This time, unsettling at first, you go back up the ladder, and then go back down, and this time the atmosphere settles in. And you begin to hear the familiar quiet of the dripping of water from the streets above, the hushed whispers that are lurking around the corners, the various scurrying of small creatures that you can't exactly see in the darkness, screeching by you.
There's a halfling. Stop insulting me.
Screeching by you and disappearing into cracks in the walls and holes in other grates. Despite how dark it is fairly well lit. There are lanterns hanging from chains very haphazardly that kind of guide a guiding light down the sewer entrance. and we will transition map.
Ooh.
And this is the environment that lays before you. Let's see. Can you guys see these guys down here or no?
Yeah, we can.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Okay, good.
We can also see a guy to the right.
Yeah, over here. Cool.
Yeah.
Vibing.
All right. Abba, immediately in front of you, as you look down the hallway after hopping off the ladder, you see two hooded and masked individuals standing on either
And
side.
I know that it's a shakedown.
Yes,
Do I
yeah.
know it's okay? I
You
know it's a shakedown.
you know it's a shakedown 100%.
Okay. I wanted to make sure that was clear before I.
Yeah, you know it's a shakedown 100%. And Lefyr, you drop down to your fine leather boots splashing a bit in the puddle below. And Archothoth, you finally join the rest of them. The smell of the sewer is very pungent, which you can gather is the reason why these individuals at the end of the hallway or the end of the sewer are wearing masks right now, because of how, I wouldn't say excruciating, but how bad it smells. The river, or not the river, the water that hangs about a foot underneath the paved pathways on either side is brown and green and very murky. You could see what you think to be stuff slithering around, maybe the occasional splash of the errant fishtail here and there. There are floating leaves. There's a couple floating rats that have tragically drowned in the sewer water, being unable to escape. But as all three of you climb down the ladder and peer off, all three of you see the two masked individuals, hooded and masked individuals at the end. Neither of them looking at you, but both of them leaning up against the side of the sewer.
Alright. So I would know that there's like kind of the way to what I'd assume would be like the main like communal area, like the big area that's actually like anything relevant down here.
Yeah. You know you have to go down this area, take a left. Why are those duplicates of you down here? Go down this area, take a left, heading this way. I'll actually draw it for you. So
Draw me my route.
The red path. You come down here, go over here, go over here, go over here, and then straight in front of you leads into what you would know to be the grand entrance, where all the traders and merchants are, and then off to the right is the residential areas. So that is what you know.
All right. So then I will begin leading the way down this side, approaching this dude. Look at this dude.
Okay. Standing before you is about he's about if you all choose to follow him in your Lefyr sandwich. As you guys walk through, you step through some puddles. You hear the squishing of the soles of your shoes, stepping through the puddles and kind of sliding a little bit as the muck from underneath gives way. And Abba, you approach this man who's standing about 6 feet tall. You can't see very much save for cold blue eyes that are gazing at you from underneath the hood. He doesn't say anything.
Is he blocking the path? Or
He is blocking the path, yes. He doesn't say anything
Hi,
quite
friend.
yet.
Hi, friend. Could you perhaps move out of the way?
You know there's a tax here, right?
I'm aware of the tax, but can't you just let it slide this once?
If you are aware of the tax, you know that I cannot.
What's the text for exactly? I'm sorry. I'm gonna move forward like in front of Abba and like get really close to this guy and like really personal almost like get in this personal space. Like, could you tell me what this is about? Like this text because I haven't heard about it. I'm gonna like make eye contact with him.
He looks back at you, the cold blue eyes piercing the darkness behind him and piercing the veil of the hood that is being created. and he looks back at you, and you see the folds of his mask move as he speaks. That is something that I only need to know, and not you. 5 gold, or you cannot pass.
I don't think me and my friends need to pay the tax. I hope we can come to an arrangement. I don't think there is a tax needed for something like this.
Yeah, I will interrupt and say, but my good sirs, this man here, he lives here. Is there not a tax for residence?
And the individual that's blocking the path looks around you, Lefyr, and looks to the halfling that stands behind you. He is not.
I smile up at this man knowingly, like I clearly like am implying that I know exactly what he's doing.
He is not from this part, therefore he still has to pay the tax. The halflings are on the eastern side.
Do I
control
really
the
have to
northern.
pay the tax, Fend?
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you again. Can you tell me what? Can you tell me exactly what the tax is for? Because I don't seem to understand where it's from and why it's so necessary. And I'm gonna
Well,
like
you see, Lefyr, the tax is because these people are mean, and that's basically it. There's no tax.
After Abba says that, the individual standing in front of you, blocking your path, picks himself off the wall, and is no longer leaning against, but is now attempting to make a foreboding presence against you. His shoulders broaden out a little bit, and he pulls aside the robe that is covering his back, and you see 2 daggers, the 2 hilts of a dagger sticking out from the other side. He's
whoa, we better not start threatening now. And I'm gonna like pull my eyelid down a bit, like while I'm talking to him. I'm gonna be like, threats only get you bad consequences.
See, I told you it's not a tax, it's a mugging.
I'm going to say, I don't know if you've ever dealt with a warlock before, but it is not something you want to cross in a small space. So, if you would please step aside, sir, there will be no trouble here today.
give me intimidation.
Okay.
Can I assist him with what I'm doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I assist him with my smile? Abba smiling up at this
No,
man.
that is disadvantage.
It's pretty bad.
You as you finish that sentence, Artelthas, peering from the backside of Lefyr towards the mugger in front of you. Lefyr is standing in front, blocking your sight a little bit, but you can echo your voice around. And the individual stops for a second and looks directly at you, Lefyr. Perhaps just this once, I'll let you go. Don't come back. And he pauses a brief moment and steps aside.
I slide past and begin walking down the way we're supposed to go.
You shuffle your way past Lefyr and kind of like very, very hurriedly push him along. Lefyr, as you walk by this individual, the cold blue eyes look at you. You don't really see. You can, if you'd like to, kind of get an idea.
Yeah.
If you
I was
like,
actually gonna. Yeah, I was actually gonna ask for his name. But who are you again? Sorry. I like to know the names of the people I meet. That's all.
I don't think I need to tell you. Carry on.
I'm gonna smile at him.
He's not gonna tell you, Lefyr.
And I wanna see if I know this guy somehow.
Give me a
See anything about him that gives me a weird feeling.
nothing immediately strikes you strikes you instantly. Blue eyes are they're not common, but you know, it's something fairly normal. You can't really see behind his mask, and no visible features are given away. He is wearing all black leather down to his hands. The fingertips are a little bit worn away. The leather or the black leather boots are stained a little bit with the mud in the grime that comes from the sewers, but there's nothing too nothing too blatantly obvious that would imply that you've seen this man traveling the streets above.
Okay. You have a good day, friend. I'm gonna keep walking, but I'm gonna say it very sarcastic.
Okay. And you all walk past and begin to follow Abba on his journey.
As I pass, I just kind of give him a very staringly glare and just say, "You've made the right decision today."
Okay. As you say that, you begin to turn away and you feel a very firm grasp on your right arm as you begin to walk past, and you turn, and this man is now holding your arm, looking down at his hand, and looks up at you. Choose your words carefully down here. And he lets go.
Very well. And I just keep following Abba.
All right. Lefyr, do you say anything to this man? Other than the...
No,
No?
I
Okay.
don't.
All
I'm
right.
just gonna look back at him and give him a little, like, you know, a little head shake. That's it.
He nods back to you, and you carry on. Back down with him, and he regains his guard and leans back up against the sewer wall once again. You guys continue your way through, crossing over the wooden the pile of 2x4s that are pretty much just haphazardly thrown over. They look like they've been ripped from the side of ships, as they are kind of curved up in what would reminisce that way of a bow. They are laying very haphazardly over the river of the disgusting and filthy water below. The smell is permeating through the air, just piercing, much different to the chilling warmth of the smell of pines and the cool wintry oncoming air that was in the streets above. But you all continue your journey through the sewers. After you get past that first bridge, though, you get to the second bridge, and you see off in the distance there's another individual crouched, sitting on the floor, looking down at the stonework beneath him.
I assume people just sitting around in the sewers is kind of normal.
Yeah, Abba, this is nothing new to you. You've seen this before.
Yeah, I will continue on up to this point where
All
I'll
right.
stop.
So before you cross that bridge, in front of you lies two planks of wood that are going straight to the other side. However, they are very rickety. They're not bolted in like the other ones. They're merely two slabs of wood that are put together. Abba, around you're kind of used to you're used to the ricketiness of some of the paths and some of the bridges on the other side, as halflings aren't really known for their craftsmanship. You're used to this. Give me a actually, you know what? You scanter along, hopping over some of the more soaked parts of the wood that look like they might be able to give way with a little weight added to them. There's some algae and some grime that is hanging off of it, as if the water that was underneath had risen during one of the rainstorms and left the muck sitting on top of it. It is a little slippery, but you, Abba, make your way through. as you are very proficient in jumping over this. Archorthos, that now we get to you. Before you stretches this very disgusting looking wooden piece that you just saw Abba jump over very gracefully. You choose to follow?
Yeah, I think so. I think I will follow.
All right. As you step onto the wood, you hear that as your half elven weight bends it a little bit. Give me a dex save.
Oh no.
We knew that one was coming. I don't even. At least I'm not gonna fall. That's all.
Okay,
Oh.
all right. Arthurlas, the wood bends a little bit and her foot slides off. But after hiking for almost a year through the Calor Mountains in Noverthune, you are very used to icy and treachery paths. You regain your footing a little bit, bouncing over to the other piece of wood that then creaks with your weight. But you make your way across.
Oh.
Lefyr.
I am not going over that. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna walk past here, but I'm gonna actually pay attention to what the guy is doing, because I have a feeling that he's gonna try and like pickpocket me or grab my leg or something like that. So can I like investigation if something? If I see something off.
I'll base it off of your
passive perception.
Yeah, I'll base it off of your passive perception, which
that's
is
12.
12. Okay, thank you. So as you go, yeah, we can do that. As you choose to walk the steadier path, you walk past this man who's very deep, and he's concentrating on the floor. There's nothing. You kind of look before you get up too close to him. You peer over the little gap to try and see what he's looking at. The floor is empty and barren, he's looking down and you can hear a gentle weeping as his breathing is a little labored, and he sniffles a little bit and he brings up his arm and wipes it away. The leather that was on his arm now wet with the tears that he just wiped away, but he's still looking down.
Okay, I'm just gonna walk past, but like half keep an eye on him, I guess. Like I'm gonna be that awkward guy that like looks at you while you pass him on the train, like that looks at you like the entire way through. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, so as he hears your footsteps passing, he actually reaches out again and grabs your ankle, and it startles you a little bit, as you didn't think that this man was paying attention, and he looks up at you, and they're looking back as you look down to meet his eyes. You see his eyes are bloodshot, as if he'd been up for days at this point. You see the bags under his eyes are as if he got punched in both eyes, and the eyes that are looking back at you are very, very cold and dark and gray, sullen. But yes, he looks at you and he doesn't say anything, and the tears begin to well up a little bit as he lets go and goes back into his contemplation, staring at the ground below.
I'm going to get on like one knee.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go back to one knee. I'm gonna DM you what I'm gonna do.
Okay. All right. And Archulthos and Abba from the other side. After you guys celebrate your small little victory of venturing over the very slimy wooden bridge, you look over and you see Lefyr's right ankle get grabbed by the man that is sitting weeping on the floor.
I would begin making my way like around to kind of get over there, but not like running. Just
Not
kinda
like running, just at a soft canter.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll just follow.
to make sure everything's like kind of okay.
Okay. You'll begin walking around slowly, kind of keeping an eye on. Okay. You all make your way over around around the second wooden bridge up here, or the third one rather. And you're keeping an eye on Lefyr and this sullen man that's on the floor. The man looks up at him and then is quickly his gaze is pushed away, and then he lets go of Lefyr's ankle and begins to walk towards you guys and rejoin you.
All good.
Poor guy. I don't know. He seemed a bit lost, I guess.
It seems there's a lot of people down here who are lost.
A different kind of lost, I guess. Not like the ones we met just then. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going.
So do you guys want to go? I guess see the end of. What would the market be? Does the market have like a special name, or is it like?
No, it's just there is no name tied to it. It's just that section is just known as the place where underground dealers of weapons and armors and other goods that are sold are bought above or stolen from above and then resold back into here. There's no true
Right.
name for it though.
Then I am gonna turn and I will go that way, towards the market.
Okay.
Now it's an art sandwich.
No, it's an art sandwich.
Very, very artsy.
Jesus. God. All right, you all continue on your way down. Abba, you happily leading. The tip of your halberd is scraping a fine line through the scum that is up on top of the ceiling.
It's a really low ceiling.
Yeah, yep, it is a very low ceiling. Archer thoughts you're ducking a little bit out of the way of some low hanging vines. Lefyr, you were doing the same.
Okay.
You venture your way down the rest of the sewer, and then it opens up into a grand opening. It's like the world, or it's like the sewers had been hollowed out, and there's now this massive dome that sits before you that runs down, and there's almost another city that is lying below you. As you are standing above this, looking down at the canvas tops and the wooden structures that are haphazardly thrown together of this grand marketplace below you. The water from the sewer is rushing off in a roaring stream down into the pits below, and then there's more water that is connecting the rest of the sewers with boats and little rickety rafts that are actually carrying goods to and from. This looks like the trade centers of Port Syndigal up above, underneath, and very disheveled.
Well, here's the marketplace.
It's very interesting. I did not expect this. This fully fledged other city down here. It's crazy. It's a sight to behold. Anything interesting, like any shops like that are very interesting here, or something like that are interesting people, or anything? I'd be curious to talk to them.
I mean, there's always interesting people, I assume. I don't exactly go in here a whole lot. I just kind of know of the area. I don't tend to buy a lot of things from here, as a lot of it is stolen, and the prices aren't exactly the greatest.
Abba, you do know of a blacksmith that's name has been kind of centralized around the gladiatorial rings. He does make armors and weapons, but that is about the only vendor that you do know. You never visited this individual, but you know and have heard through your training regimen and your apprenticeship under some of the other gladiators. You do know that he does work down here.
Though I guess there is somebody always meant to come down here and meet. Maybe we can go find them.
Yeah, lead on.
I have absolutely no idea what we're doing, so let's go for it. I am so lost down here. It is unexplainable.
All right.
Uh,
Are you guys venturing down into the city?
Yeah.
Or the
Yeah.
trader?
While we're doing that, I want to talk to Art about the picture of his mother.
Okay.
Art, while we're walking, you know, this might be weird, but like I've said before, I like stories, and I'm wondering, like, because you seem to be very obsessed, or well, maybe that's a bad word. You would like to see your mother again or something. Like, what did she mean to you? You didn't seem like you, because you told us you didn't really know her, but you seem very set on trying to find her.
That's just it. My father did not share much with me with her, and it's a mystery to me. It's knowledge is power, but you cannot gain knowledge if you do not know about yourself. And I desire to know more about myself and my past, and specifically my mother, because I do not know a whole lot, and this is the first time as a matured, you know, person that I'm seeing her. Even in this picture, she looks younger than I remember, and it's it was a shock.
Okay.
I guess I wouldn't say I'm very obsessed with it, but it's very much. I wish to know more about the Fale life and how they cultivate magic, and if my mother had any talents that I grew from her and my father. My father not being too much of a magical being, and like I said, Vathan is very controlling of that. The Fale seem to have a handle on the natural magics, and I want to know if I have a connection there, and I don't know. I feel like if I knew more about her, then I would know more about myself, and then I could gain more knowledge, and to me, knowledge is my prime directive. It's where I derive all of my power, and I think that is it's worth knowing yourself first, though, for sure.
That's not the. That's actually better than I expected. It made sense.
Yeah,
I thought you would have tried to, like, lie to me. I don't know why, but you seem
see
pretty
sense.
honest.
I don't see sense in lying about it, especially when I don't know about it much myself. I'd be lying to you if I said that I wasn't immediately sad when I saw the picture. It brings me great hardship, I guess, to know that she does exist, and you know, my memory isn't failing me. I don't know. I do wish to know more, though.
Okay. No, thank you for again. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep saying thank you every time somebody tells me a story, even if it's something personal, you know. Because how you seek knowledge and power, I guess, in that way. I think for me, it's my songs that make people happy, you know. So if I can find a song to somehow reflect that, or even the story to somehow reflect that, I think I can, you know, make everybody happy, as just like Gustav, you know.
Yeah, I'd be glad to hear it. If I can inspire you in some way to, yeah. If I can inspire you in some way to make a nice ballad of the stories I tell, then the more the better, I guess.
I think it'll be a good story. Want to tell your children, maybe at some point, huh?
We will see about that.
Hmm.
Distant future.
Distant future, exactly. We're only getting started, my friend.
Indeed.
Sorry, Abba, for leaving you out of the conversation. Abba?
Wait. Oh, sorry.
Sorry for leaving you out of the conversation.
Abba's probably a little distracted trying to like figure out where the hell he's going, like trying to figure something out. He wasn't exactly paying attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was paying attention, but Abba was not.
Okay.
As you are leading, are being led down these very shallow stairs that are kind of built into the side of the dome. You can look out along the other side, and you see various entrances of sewers of the waterfall, of the sewage water coming in, and then the staircase is being led, wrapping around it in kind of like a shell-like pattern, all very symmetrical, and all leading into their own various bridges that then run into the center part of the city. The stairs are pretty slick. You stumble up a little bit sometimes, the grime and the muck catching you off balance, but nobody suffers any terrible fates. You venture your way down the sewer. What was that?
Just that would be bad all of a sudden.
Oh, it
like,
would,
some
yeah.
all the
Make a
faces,
deck
like,
save. Not one. You fall to your death. GG. Session's over. Good job, guys. But yes, you all continue your way down the stairs, and as you get to the lower part of it, you begin to hear voices of various merchants and underground individuals making their way through the bustling underground market. There's a different atmosphere of merchantry down here. Up on the street side, merchants were very open and welcoming to individuals coming in, often ushering them into the shops themselves, pulling them off of the streets and insisting that they show their wares. But down here, the merchants are very cold, very short with what they say, wanting those who come shop to get what they need and then scamper off. You also see some emblems of boxes that are floating on the backs of rafts that have been tethered up and bound, trailing off with others in a short little boat caravan trading through the river. You see the anchor of the Port Rearvland Trading Co. And then you see a couple other sigils and emblems. You see the Vathan Eagle, the Noverthune emblem and sigil as well. What strikes you a little odd, being how you are down here. But Abba, you get the idea. You know what these people are. Those are all stolen goods that are being resold down here for a higher price.
Yeah.
Can I kind of see closer and see what kind of goods they are? Or?
Yeah. So you look at one in particular that's floating off to the left, and it's growing a little bit further away. But as you're looking at it, you see the familiar, that Vathan Eagle of the seamstress shop that you saw above. However, this time, as opposed to it being filled with clothing and various other articles, it's more filled with what looks to be barrels and casks, and like casks of some type of drink. One of them you actually recognize from Guzor's Tavern up top, being the elven wine that he gave to Abba and insisted that Lefyr had to pay 400 gold for.
So would we surmise that is stolen from Guzor directly, or is it just like a more like, I don't know.
You don't really know who exactly it's stolen through or stolen from, but you definitely get the idea that it's a little stolen, especially given how there's a tarp that is like haphazardly thrown over it, and you can see the bottom of the eagle as if they were trying to hide it.
I was just asking because I didn't know if like how rare that wine is.
Yeah, that's something you get to find out. You do know from your time in Vathan Rock that elven wine, specifically from the house what did I name it? Gial? Yeah, House Gial. From House Gial is very rich and very sought after. It's not terribly expensive, but it is one of the better wines to come out of Vathan.
Oh. Yeah, this is interesting. It's definitely not what is above.
It isn't, is it?
Nope.
The saying "as above, so below" does not apply here.
You all continue your way into the marketplace, and you're pushing through. Various beings that are all hooded and kind of masked over. You guys stick out a little bit, being kind of very open in your appearance. But there's no real attention that is pulled towards you. You are making your way through the cities, however, or through the tents that are set up. It looked like they had been set up that morning and then being torn down at night, as if nobody has a dignified space to set up shop. It's rather a fight for the best kind of land to set up shop for that day. You walk past and you see some jewelry that is quite literally thrown into a box that is bottom lined with hay. Definitely a little too precious to be down here, but there's a price tag over the front of it that says 10,000 gold that is scratched into the side of it.
Oh, emergency.
Maybe we can take we'll keep going. We'll say that Abba stops there. Abba stops there and is very, very confused by this, by what is in front of him. But you continue down a little bit further, kind of keeping an eye on the tip of the halberd that is now being lost in the crowd. You no longer see the halfling; you just see the grime-covered tip of the halberd poking up through the crowd. But you continue down. Lefyr, there's a fortune teller to your left that looks very, very shady. Deep within the tent, there sits a ball of swirling energy.
Sorry about that.
You're good. Everything all right?
Yeah.
All right. Abba, you were left at the jewelry shop, but you turn and through the legs of people, you see Lefyr and Ultrathos a little bit further on down. Lefyr, you're looking into the left of this tent, barely opening, and in the back, there sits a shadowy figure, but this ball is glowing on the inside, a pale violet color, but deep entwined of it is a darker void. And then to the right, there is an alchemist shop with various bubbling brews that are all overflowing a little bit and spilling out onto the wooden counter below. Different vials of greens and reds and purples are all foaming and bubbling, and then up on the shelf is a bunch of potions of all various different colors that are all corked. Some of them are dirty, some of them are very clean. None of them are labeled though.
Okay.
You know, that fortune teller might make for a good story. Just a thought.
You're not wrong, although I'm gonna be honest, I don't trust it down here. I feel like the tent's gonna close behind me and all of a sudden I'm gonna get mugged. And I like stories, but I like my life a little bit more than that. You know, I don't want to be sold as a slave within the next 2 weeks somewhere in the Underground.
I agree. I don't know. It's just interesting. It's something different. I definitely need to make sure to keep my guard up and.
I mean, if you want to go in there with me.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it then. And I'm gonna hold on to my fucking loot because I'm like ready to like smack somebody with it. Like, even though I have my rapier, I'm holding my like.
Which one were you going? You guys were going into the fortune tent?
Yeah, the fortune tent.
Okay, all right.
Why did you look like that? That's so
Oh no, sorry. I was responding to something. My bad. I was talking to chat. I saw something. Somebody was being very generous. But yeah. So you guys turn to the left and after hyping each other up a little bit, Abba, you see them kind of look forward. Do you want to call out to them? Abba?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna scurry up after them.
Okay.
I'm not gonna call out, but I'm just gonna kind of try and catch up. I might not make it by the time they go into the fortune teller, though.
Okay. You're a little bit. You're about 5-10 feet away. But Archulthos and
Do we
Lefyr.
see him?
You see the tip of the spear running,
see the
running toward. Yeah, it's like bouncing up and down, and it's coming towards you guys.
I'll hold out for a second and be like, let's wait for him.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So then I'll catch up.
Aber, you've reconvened with your companions. And Ultrathos, you are the first one through the tent. You grab the edge of this canvas. It's a very thick and very coarse material, and pull it away. It actually feels like the canvas is resisting a little bit because of how coarse and dense it is, to keep up with the environment that is inside of the sewer systems here. And you pull it in, and it's a very you can almost hear your heartbeat with how quiet and dead silent this place is. But through the opening, you can still hear the sounds of the sewer and the marketplace outside invade a little bit. But the deeper you get into this tent, which is only about 15 feet long, it gets a little darker. It gets a little bit darker every time, and the light from the entrance kind of slowly fades. After all of your time in Vatham, you definitely know that there's some magic work going on here for the environment to set the mood. You know, they got the mood lights on down low. But as you grow closer to this table where this glowing ball of pale violet and inky black is swirling around, there's a hooded figure that lurches forward and says nothing. They're sitting behind the orb. The orb is about this big.
Do I say hello?
I don't know.
Hello.
Hello.
I have foretold your coming.
Oh, you have.
Who did you tell?
Yes.
That's interesting. Nice place you got here. Just what are you exactly?
Everywhere.
You're everywhere. Nice to meet you everywhere. I am Lefyr. What is this exactly? You know, is this fortune telling? I would like my fortune told, you know, if possible.
Nothing is said, but you kind of hear a distant, what sounds like a distant laugh.
What the fuck?
And then before you, come, sit.
Archathos kind of like closes the tent behind him and kind of just like gives a little like nudge, like,
God, I'm going. Shit, fuck.
we'll be right over here. We'll be right.
Yeah, over here. You better fucking stand next to me.
All right. Kind of like follow him. Kind of like
Abba walks up like no problem.
looking at.
I'm gonna sit down. Nice to meet you everywhere.
You sit down in the chair, and the chair's a little damp. It's a little wet. You kind of hear as you sit down in it. It's not soaking through the leather just yet, but you suspect that it might. It
In
might
about a
eventually.
minute or
Yeah,
so.
in about 5 minutes or so, your ass might be a little wet. This
How I like.
this figure in front of you though, is seeming to drift and kind of and flow as if there's nothing actually under the gown and the hood. But despite how there is no air current going through, you see the edges of the robe kind of flow a little bit, as well as the edge of the hood, but you can't see anything inside of it. You see no hands popping out. You see no opening to the robe, and you don't see anything through the hood. What
So-
do you wish?
That's a difficult question. Happiness. Happiness is a good wish. Friends is a good wish.
And as you go on this tirade, the orb in front of this being, it starts to shift and change a bit. Less of the colors changing, more of some of the colors starting to take shape, and form and create something. The inky blackness pulls away to the background as the pale violet circulates in the foreground, moving and wisping, almost like you dropped some ink into some water, and it's moving around in very, very unique and very corporeal ways. And as you say happiness and friends, there's no shapes being taken place yet, but you can definitely tell that it's trying to reach for something.
Love.
And as you utter that final word, the essence takes shape into a figure. This figure is very slender, with long flowing hair that's coming down, and also a long flowing dress. It's a silhouette that strikes you familiar, but you're not really too sure what it exactly is. And it stays there, and the figure begins walking motionless through one step, one foot right in front of the other, as if it was actually a real being. And then the shadowy figure looks at you. There is more.
More to me. Or more to it.
You get no reply. Archrothos and Abba in the back. You see, you look around, the silhouette kind of being illuminated from or the orb illuminating a gentle silhouette of Lefyr sitting in front of it. And you guys both look left and right, like you're peering out from behind something. And you see that pale violet figure walking with a deep black background.
Does the figure look familiar to us, or?
No, it's just a slender woman with a flowing dress and long hair that is flowing as if they were a real person walking through the wind.
One more. Family. I'm gonna do this to you, dear.
All right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You utter the words family, and what noise there was from the outside silences. As the tent and you, Archrothos and Abba, silence overcomes, and the tent is dead quiet. You try to motion to Abba, but your words don't find him. You reach out and try to touch Abba, Archrothos. And you see the indent on the chainmail, but you don't feel him. Abba, you don't feel Archrothos poking under your left shoulder. And you turn to try and say something, but you see that he's touching you, but you're very confused. You turn around, and the opening that was at the front of the tent is now closed. Lefyr, in front of you, the shadowy figure disappears. And the orb looks to be expanding in front of you. Inside of this orb, that inky black background begins to shape and manipulate its way around the pale violet in front of it. You all, Archrothos and Abba, you don't see this quite. You don't see quite what is happening over here. Your vision isn't obscured, but it looks like there's something happening, but you're not really too sure. You can't recognize what's going on. And Lefyr, in front of you, as the pale violet begins to shape and mold, you see hills begin to form, mountains begin to form. You see that woman, the silhouette of the woman that you saw earlier, walking across those mountains and those hills. You see a shape of a small child, a smaller figure walking next to this maiden, as if they're walking away from the background. And as they walk towards you, the violet background of the mountains and whatnot dissipate and fade into the inky black. And then as they are approaching you, it paves way into the cityscape. You recognize the high towers of Port Syndigal. You recognize the crowded streets of the merchants. You see the shops that you grew and have known to come and have known over your life of living within these walls. And then it vanishes. And as if all of that was being sucked through a black hole and shot back to the back of the orb, the inky black then takes over again. And it hangs there for a minute. And it sits there very, very still. You can hear nothing. You reach out as the images are being taken away, but you can't quite get them. Your hand passes through them, and they trail through your fingers as they wisp on through the darkness. And then everything comes rushing forward. The towers of Port Syndigal rush by. The mountains that you once saw rush by as well, and the image is taken to a place that you haven't seen before. And as the image unfolds before you, the pale violets forming buildings and trees and other various mountains and hills and landmarks, you soar high above, and you're looking down. And then once again, it is taken immediately back. Rip through the void once again. And it stays there for a second. And then slowly, from the bottom of the orb to the top, there begins to be another image, another silhouette. Pale violet illuminating the void of the background. And it hangs there ever so briefly. You can't quite make out what it. You don't see familiar traits that you would recognize from a basic elf, a basic Fale. You don't see legs. You don't see arms. You can't even make out like where the head disconnects from the shoulders. It's a blob, but it looks like someone is walking away with the tarp draped over them, as if they had a sheet over them and all of their features were being hidden and they were walking away. But you recognize the gait as the walking patterns as a humanoid, but you don't know what it is. And then the blackness fades away. The light from the tent begins to illuminate in, as well as the sounds of the sewer begin to rush in. Archulthos, you are left holding your finger on the chainmail of Abba to the left of you. Abba, you now begin to feel the prodding of Archulthos, and Archulthos, you feel the cold chainmail as well. And Lefyr, you are sat in front of the orb as it now slowly fades, or as it now slowly recedes back into its true form from what Archulthos and Abba know it to be, and is now sitting in front of you again. This time back in its original state that you saw it previously, the pale violet swirling around, intermixing with the inky black. And this shadowy figure doesn't say anything, but it looms over. And as it looms over the table, the shape gets larger. And it looks like it is stretching to the edges of the tent, but not actually poking through. Archulthos and Abba, you guys look back and you see a tremendous shadowy figure start to loom high above the table. But you see no end. You see no break in the fabric. You see the hood draping down over. You can see the gentle curves of it caressing, hiding the eyes that should be there, as well as hiding the mouth that should be there, but you don't see anything. The edge of the robe lifts up, and from underneath of it shoots forth the shadowy black hand, covered in wisps and twirling. It's like a light gray against the matte black of the tent and the fabric around it. But it hangs in the air on one side, over the orb. Is there more?
What's my name?
Okay. Lefyr, sitting before you, the shadowy figure, is taken aback a little bit, as it wasn't expecting, as if it wasn't expecting that question just yet. And it looks at you. It looks at you, and you can feel its eyes peering through the fabric of the hood, but you can't see its eyes. You don't know what you're looking at. There is a gentle shadow underneath where you suspect this chin to be, and it gets closer, and it gets almost close to the point where you think that you could smell it, but there's nothing there. And on one side, on the left hand, the left shadowy hand drips down onto the table, and it lies there, and it presses itself up, and the other hand comes up from underneath the table, the same shadowy claw lurching forward, and it does it on the other side of the table as well. And this figure looms even further over you. Now is looking down at you. It's almost another 3 to 4 feet above you, and it's looking down at you.
You're not from this world, are you?
And neither are you. And it lurches back. You know the question you asked. You know the answer. Do not forget. And it leans back even further. It's now sitting at a greater distance from the orb. And it's just sitting there, waiting very patiently. Its robes are flowing and glistening with, not glistening, sorry, flowing with a breeze that's not exactly there.
Do not tell me what I am or what I am not. I will decide that for myself.
Perhaps you will. And all of a sudden, everybody's shot is pulled out of the tent, ripped out, as if you all had been, if everybody can hear me, I think everybody, yeah. And all of a sudden, everybody's pulled out of the tent as if something had been dragging you from the back. The tent is racing in your view. It is tunneling past you, and suddenly you're back out into the street. Once again, gazing into a gentle opening, and you see the pale swirling violence of the orb sitting on the table.
All three of us got pulled
Yep,
out?
everybody got pulled out. You are no longer inside the tent.
Well,
What happened?
yeah, this is on me. I forced you to do this. What?
No, do not worry. It's
I just have a question. So
What's up?
when he asked the question, did it just instantly for the other two of us just go
Yes.
to this, or was okay? So it just instantly went to this. There was nothing.
No.
It wasn't like
yeah. There was no time in between. You all were yanked out of the tent.
okay.
Yep.
What did you piss off the fortune teller? What the hell happened?
I think
couldn't hear anything. All my senses were dulled. It was very strong magic.
I think I did in a way. Yes. It is hard to tell. Maybe he thought I was fucking around too much. I don't know. Maybe never mind. It happens, like I mean, it was cool. It was an experience, right? But I mean, still don't really believe it. It seems like it's fake. Honestly, I wouldn't go in there again, and I'm gonna walk off.
Okay.
I'll just follow. I
Yeah, I guess.
where,
Alright.
where else shall we go?
Would I know where the blacksmith sets up, or would I have to like? Hunt for
Yeah,
that?
you don't really know where the blacksmith sets up. You're gonna have to look around for it, but you suspect you'll be able to find it. That's one of the more popular attractions in the area. You all continue on, leaving the tent behind you, and passing by the alchemist shop, carrying on your way, and you see you see more merchants of stolen goods and various other creeds. There's also a little goblin who is selling actual sewage by the barrel. You walk by and you can smell the pungent aroma coming off as there sits 12 barrels of sewage water sitting there. Fresh sewage, come and get it! And he's screaming at everybody as they pass by. He's not getting any business at all. And as you further go down, you start winding your way towards now the center of the market area, where the shops are getting a little bit bigger and a little more active. These are now being weapons and armor and various other goods. Armor salesman, not blacksmith quite. But as you venture around the corner, you actually, Abba, you hear the hitting of a hammer on an anvil. The ping, ping, starting to resonate and bounce off the dome above and back down.
It's like I can kind of figure out where it's coming from.
Yeah,
is what you're
yeah,
saying?
you can kind of figure out where it's coming from. It sounds like it's off to your right as you turn this
Alright,
corner,
then
and then you start to see all these armor smiths and weaponsmiths.
Yeah,
or
I'll kind of
merchants.
get excited and kind of like push on ahead, speeding myself up a little, getting in front of my little legs,
Okay.
doing the seagull walk.
Seagull walk. Okay, Abba, as your little legs begin to do the seagull walk in front of you, you're
Are we calling it that?
the now tip of the pole arm, instead of bouncing up and down, it's now swaying side to side a little bit as you kind of like waddle through the crowd. Lefyr and Artsothos, you catch up with him fairly quickly, and Abba, as you turn the corner, you're greeted by a big burly man, and you kind of run into his knee and smack up onto him a little bit. And he looks down and he goes, "I step in something."
Oh no, sorry, I bumped into you. Just
So sorry about my friend. He doesn't mean anything bad. He's just clumsy a bit,
Doesn't say anything, and he walks and he turns away. You can't really tell what race this individual was, as much of his face was covered in gunk and slime. But he walks back and disappears into the tent that he came out from. And you make your way down, and as the pings of a blacksmith's hand on the anvil gets a little bit closer, you start to feel the heat from the forges as well. And standing in front of you, actually presented in front of you, is one of the larger tents in the area, and sitting in the middle of it is a very I don't want to say old, but he's a bigger individual. Looks like he's been through a lot. You can kind of tell he's Fale. His hair falls in white dreadlocks down. His beard is very scraggly and unkempt. His clothing has holes in it on the arms, which look to be like burn mark and singe marks from the heat of the forges. He's the blacksmith's apron that hangs over him. At the bottom of it is very dirty and rough, and the dark leather is now kind of being stained a little green. But he stands lurching over this anvil, a great hammer being brought down on a sword, or what looks to be the blade of a sword being formed.
okay.
Is this...
Is there are there people around? Like, are people like watching him, or is it just?
Yeah, some people
kinda
are
like-
some people are watching him, but for the most part, it seems to be as most of the people are more interested in what the shops are selling as opposed to what he's making at the time. So there's about 5 or 6 people that are watching him, but they're mostly kind of kept at a distance and conversing among themselves.
So what exactly do I know about him? Just that he's like known amongst the gladiators get weapons from him.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you know. You know that they get weapons,
Is
weapons
there any
and
kind of
weapons
like
and armor.
specialty to it? Like, is it like weapons made by him are considered to be like much better than anything? Or like
You not like
anything,
you haven't really delved too far into that. You have heard that there are certain instances where his weapons won over some of the other refined blacksmiths in Port Syndigal. But there's no magical merit to it. No. That you know of.
What's up, Abba?
Is this what
What's
we're
that?
supposed to be?
I think so. I think that's the blacksmith that I keep hearing about. But you know, he's a little more raggedy than I thought he'd be.
Well, maybe we should introduce ourselves. Maybe,
Yeah, so like, what's the area around the smith look like? So is it like it's just all his tent, or is there like, does he have other wares like on display?
It's all his tent. Right in the middle is the forge that branches up the chimney, being circled by the exposed part of there's a hole through the tent at the top where the chimney pokes through. The smoke billowing out at the top. On the left, on your guys' left, his right. There's a table of swords and blades, warhammers, maces, etc. All the weapons that he has crafted himself. And then on the right side, there are chest plates, helmets, greaves, gauntlets of all the armor that he has made. There's no markings, there's no banners. He's set up shop here, and he has stayed here. That's that. It's a very simple area. The forge in the middle kind of illuminates the armor, and you see like the glinting of the red and the oranges off the blades. Abba, from a distance, you can tell that much of these are iron and steel weapons. Very basic swords. There's no price tags on any of them. The armor on the other side, some of it looks very nice, very well kept. In particular, some of the plate armors that you see has very high rises on the neck to protect any of the vitals here. The chest plates themselves are a little bit thicker than you normally see, but that would make sense from the gladiatorial standpoint because you want to be able to withstand blows that are thrown your way.
maybe we should, maybe for your benefit or all of our benefit, we should try and get in the good graces with this blacksmith, and maybe we can come down here and get some kind of discount, something like that, or... You know, I feel like down here is more of like a barter, like, you know, a need-to-know basis. I think.
Yeah, that's what it looks like at least.
We could use some. Could probably use, you know, some of our more charisma to, you know, maybe will them to our cause. Maybe if we ever do see you in the gladiator fights, Abba.
Didn't he need a team for those? Like
Yeah,
3v3 or something?
Ah,
yeah.
well, and maybe all of us then could benefit from it.
I'm not that much of a fighter. You saw how I got destroyed by Abba in the hand wrestling.
Yeah, but you could sure talk someo's head off, no?
I can
Do
talk.
I know any rules about like magic in gladi? Like, what's the stance on magic? And
There's no rules barring it.
okay.
Combat is combat.
I mean, there's also like my magic knowledge is very low. I mean, I know a couple spells, but that's about it.
Well, we'll just have to get you to know more then. That's
Yeah.
Just study, forehead. Jeez.
let me just.
Maybe,
that.
maybe,
Well,
maybe I could teach you a couple of things. I only know a few spells as well, but they are useful in a tight spot.
Sure, we can do this maybe later this
Yeah.
evening.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
I'll be fine.
I guess
But,
we
let's-
do introduce ourselves. I'm
Yes,
gonna
yes.
kind of like step up and like not get like super close, but like close enough to be like I'm not just like a bystander, like just there to watch. I'm kind of like looking over this stuff a little, watching him craft his sword.
Okay. You venture up and kind of hold
Yeah.
yourself up a little bit to look at the tablewares. Do you have something?
Does he seem like a genuine person, like somebody that maybe wouldn't, like, if he had a shop above ground, like he would be as successful as he is?
It's hard to tell from at a glance.
Okay, all right.
It's hard to tell. But Abba, as you get closer, you can start to feel the heat from the forge radiating a little bit stronger, and you stand a little bit closer than the other individuals that are watching. Do you say anything?
No, I think I'll watch for a little, just see if he reacts to me being kind of there.
Okay.
We'll keep kind of looking at like the stuff.
All right. You watch for about a minute, but he's not saying too much. He's not saying at all. He's completely ignoring the fact that you're there right now, and he's focusing on honing in the blade of this long sword that kind of curves at the end a little bit, just very gracefully, towards the back end of it. The blade straightens out, and right now there's a temporary like wooden hilt that is just faceted to it. What he's hammering away right now, the pings from the hammer on the anvil getting louder and louder as he's trying to refine the metal a little bit more. After some time, he'll pick up the blade and kind of grunt to himself a little bit and shove it back into the inferno, throwing some of the coals and rocks over it, and then turning around and going up and picking up some of the other tools, going back, clamping it, bringing it back out, quenching it, and then going back to his hammering. He hasn't acknowledged you.
As he kind of like inspects it, when he was inspecting it, I'll pipe up then and just be kind of like, "That's a really beautiful looking sword, friend."
He just nods.
Well, I guess that answers our question. He wouldn't. He seems more like the quiet type. No.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Smith, if you'd be so inclined, my name is Archwathos, and these are my companions. We have Abba, and we have Lefyr, and I wanted to ask you a few questions, maybe down here, of some rumblings you've heard.
Rumblings. What do you mean?
Yeah. So, have you heard of any sort of magical resurrection or underworldly goings about? I don't anything that across your mind? Like I've heard some rumors about some darker magic, and I was wondering if you heard these whispers.
He eyes you. He puts the tempered blade down on the anvil. It's still glowing red hot. And he kind of shoves it off to the side. What do you have been doing with that, sir?
Sorry, wait, what did he say?
What do you have been doing with that?
Well, I don't know. I think it's just interesting. This whole area is interesting, and to me, smiths such as yourself would do well up above. But it seems that a lot of people probably come in here saying things, and you might have an ear for some of the things that go down around here.
Yeah, I've tried my fares up in the streets. Not for me.
Well, I agree it's not for everyone, but yeah, I think I don't know. Someone as yourself seems to have knowledge, especially on the craft of a blade and a plate. Is there anything that we can do for you to maybe, if we wanted to ever purchase something that could, make the price sweeter?
How much coin you got?
Well, I don't think that I'm in the market right now, but I'm talking in the future. Like, what can we do as a group to maybe get like a little bit of a discount?
He puts the blade that is still glowing red hot. He picks it up and puts it back in the furnace. And sits down on a bench and kind of sprawls back. As he sits down, the creaking of the wood, it settles in. As he looks back, and you finally get a full picture of his face. His right eye, there's an eye patch covered over it. You see a scar kind of going down. The beard that is very unkempt has another scar cutting a path right through it. It's almost like the hair is being pulled apart from the scar. It's a very, very grizzled face looking at you. If you have no coin, maybe we can strike a deal. And he kind of, it looks like he's almost reluctant for it to say that you all are able to strike a deal.
Can I insight check this guy? Because I feel like,
Yeah.
is he like, I'm trying to insight check him to see, like, if his business is struggling? Is that why he's trying to make a deal? Is it, like, trying to make a deal because he's gonna ask something inhuman of us?
Yeah, go for it.
22.
Okay. You kind of get you get the feeling that less of his business is far. He's not from the clothes that you're seeing on him and how tattered everything is. You kind of get the idea that maybe he's not making the amount of gold that he wants to be, and that there's probably something a little bit more towards him being a blacksmith down here up as opposed to the top of the streets, based off of the fine weapons, the fine iron and steel weapons, as well as armor that are on the tables. He doesn't look like the type of person who would ask you to go kill a dog, though. He looks like a very honest man to your eyes that has fallen on some difficult times, and is very mad at the world for it, as opposed to something else.
Can you tell me a bit about your wares, maybe? Quickly, before we do all of this talking about stuff. I want to know what you can make.
I make armor.
Well,
And
yes,
weapons.
of course. What type? How good are they? Are they better than the ones from up above? I'm gonna like try and poke that into him, like.
Okay.
Is what you're doing like that here? Is this really what you want to do?
He stands up and he's now walking towards you. Out of the. He's not quite out of the tent, but he's walking to the edge of the tent. And he gets to the edge of the tent and he looks down at you, Lefyr, and he goes, "They can kill people the same."
Is that really what you mean?
Well, what are you buying weapons for?
Gladiator stuff. Defense. Protection.
Now we're talking. Come in.
Appreciate it.
He steps to the side and welcomes you literally into the tent, but you don't walk through an opening, you just walk underneath the canvas. Now you were kind of standing in front of the forge, a little bit closer. The heat feels very nice compared to the cold water and the cold air that you guys have been wandering your way through. You're now behind the tables of armor and weapons. You can see the wooden tables that are holding it up. As opposed to having traditional legs, they're more of like pikes that are shoved through and holding the wooden slats up. There are some weapons that are on the side of the forge that don't look like they're quite finished. Yes, you are now under the blacksmith's tent.
Does he have anything like any armor laying around that?
Yeah, on the other table there's some plate and chainmail armor. The chainmail looks handmade, and as you're looking over, you can actually see a mesh of chainmail that's draped over the back of the chair. That isn't quite finished yet, but you do see a neck hole, and it looks like it would be.
Ask.
Yes.
Is the armor just like? Does it only look like purely like for like just designed for like armor? Like there's nothing like detailed or like ornament about it. It's specifically just.
It is. There's nothing fancy going on with the armor. The stuff that you see on the tables, but the individuals that you talk to about this blacksmith from the gladiator ring, their weapons are sometimes a little bit more intricate. So, do with that what you will.
Yeah, so I think that we're talking about gladiators, and our friend here seems to be I point to Abba and I say he's one who's been training all this time, and maybe if he convinces us, we might join him.
A lot of convincing it's gonna take though.
He kind of chuckles a little bit. The halfling. He's your gladiator.
He might be small,
A lot
but
stronger than I look.
he's very strong.
And I'm gonna just show him my hand, like that's swollen and red. He's pretty strong.
So just smack him on the hand with it. Doesn't look like he's
No,
that strong to me. But
Yeah, I don't exactly have anything.
I've seen worse. Now, what business are we talking here?
I'd like a helmet.
But just a helmet, right?
Well, I want it, you know, a little more designed, you know, a little touch of my own fighting spirit, you know. Not just any old helmet will do.
His eyes narrow at you, Abba, and he starts to eye you up and down your chainmail, as well as the halberd. And then you can see his eyes kind of look down towards your belt, to the gold purse that is sitting there. Looks a little light for custom work.
Well, that's why we'd like to, you know, see if we can figure out some kind of deal. That maybe we help you and then the cost goes down a little.
And you two are here for the helmet as well. And he looks over to Artrothos and Lefyr.
Well, I could use a different, well, maybe a more studded leather or something like that. But you know, it's getting cold soon, and something that will sustain me in the cold and be mobile.
He's an armorsmith. No, he doesn't work with leather. That's the wrong place.
Maybe a shield then. Another shield. I mean, this one is just.
The shield we can do something about. Your leather armor, though. No, not here.
I'm here for information, honestly.
What are
Yeah.
you looking for?
I've heard that there are people here that can bring back people to life. Have them see things. Or their family.
Again. Back to this again, are we?
It's not the only thing I want.
Yes. There are people down here who speak of an individual who brings those that they wish to bear. And he, as he's talking about this, he's fiddling with a dagger, kind of twirling the blade in between his hands. Not really looking at any of you, but just spinning the tip of the dagger, piercing a little bit into the leather glove that he's wearing. He's just spinning it around. He is, they are, she is, whatever they may be. They do their work out of here. Now, I ask of you, why do you come to me asking these questions?
Well, you seem to be, you know, like I said before, a person that hears more than they let on and sees more than the average vendor here, you know. I mean, everybody needs armor, everybody needs weapons, so I think it was a good starting point if we wanted information to someone that can give us something. It would be a blacksmith who knows probably most people down here.
How about this? Art, how do you feel about the gladiator arena? How do you feel about it?
It could be some fun. It could also mean some death. However, I think it's entertainment at its finest.
How about you get my people the armor that they want? You give me the information.
And what's in it for me?
We are going to win the gladiator arena with your gear.
That's funny. You think you have a shot.
I
Now,
think we've got better than just a shot.
this
I think
this little one over here, he knows the kind of people that are in the gladiatorial arenas. Would you be so kind to enlighten your friends here on how difficult the task before them seems? And Abba, you know that he is 100% telling the truth. The gladiatorial arena is not something to fuck around with. That is why you've been training so intently for it.
He's not wrong. It's definitely not something that you just kind of win. But you know, if there was a team to do it, I think it'd be us. I have confidence in me and my friends. We'll use the power of friendship to win the arena.
Friendship doesn't kill people. I'm sure
No.
you know that.
And we will
But
die
it gives
trying.
you a good reason to.
That's
So,
true.
as much as I want to see my armor on another pair trio, Sorry. Another trio of contestants. I'd
Oh.
like to have return customers.
You misworded that.
Did I?
Victors. Not participants. Victors. And if that doesn't sound good enough to you, you might need materials. Alright, everybody needs materials, and you as a smith, you certainly do. I'm sure here in the underground you can get almost anything you want, but probably expensive.
You are correct.
Tell us something you want us to get. We'll try and get it for you.
Takes a water skin from his belt. Rips a big gulp out of it, and the water dribbling down his chin. He goes, "Well, since you ask, and I'd like to have returning customers and not people who are going to just die in combat after I so painstakingly make their armor for them. You can do something for me. Outside the walls, there's a mine. The mine has some ore I need, because the fuckers down here keep wanting to drive their prices up. So I can't afford them anymore. So what you all are going to do for me, if you so continue to press on and you want this armor here, you're gonna go get me my ore. Does that sound
I can
fine?
do that. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Now, I think that is a good plan, but what do you know of this mine? What lurks below?
Good question.
The smart one of the group over here. No.
Listen, I'm the talker, the smart one, and then we've got
I'm Abba.
Abba.
I am the friend of the group.
Right. So this mine you're going to has been controlled by some less than well-doing individuals who used to call this place their home. Now, if you have somebody shut that damn dog up. Anyways. Anyways!
The fucking dog.
I'm gonna kill that merchant. Anyways. These less than do-gooders. Those who have resided with us and have now been exiled by the Grand Master, are now owning and controlling the supply of ore dripping from this, and it's been a real fucking thorn in my side for quite some time now. The Emerald Hand's fucking useless, so is the Trade Princess herself. I've asked many times to take care of this situation, and all of it's fallen on deaf ears. So if you be willing, that you want to make a deal, and you want to make an ally down here, I'll remember this.
We'll get to you. Oh my god, that was a different voice.
I've been doing it all night.
We are, we can get you any ore you really want, I think. Almost anything. As long as you follow up on your promise that we can buy from you again.
I'm a man of my word. And he, Archulthas, the familiar fail salute, he gives it and bows his head, and quickly goes back. Honor is something I don't fuck around with.
Very well. So how much ore do you require?
How much ore you think you can carry?
So it is a matter of how much we can carry then. Very well.
The more
will
the
get you
merrier.
We will get you as much as we can. The other thing I wish to know before we set upon this is what entrance do you recommend we enter from without being hassled by those that would seek to thin our pockets.
Don't come to the sewers.
He's got us there. That's true.
I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty good. That was... I don't really have a comeback for that one.
Point. I just wondered maybe there's another way in where most aren't lurking about. However, I guess you're right. The sewers are a place for lurkers.
What they are. Now, this place, this mine shaft, I don't know too much about it anymore, but assume you're going to be encountering some people much like us, just a little bit more vicious, if that makes sense. This mine shaft lies to the north, outside of the city walls. If you're able to bring me back my ore, I will strike a deal with you, and I will honor our commitment.
Absolutely won't be a problem. However, before I leave, we might die in there.
That is correct.
Honestly, for you, not much would change. But that information that I asked for, I want it before I leave. The stuff will get it to you. If we survive.
Give me a persuasion.
Here we go. 20.
Spicy.
It's information you want, it's information I got. What do you want to know?
8.
Well, yeah. I mean, who is this person? What do they have a name? And are they? Do they make themselves known often?
No, nobody knows who this individual is. The only way you'll get in contact is if you come in the dead of night and you look for them. They'll find you. They have a interesting sort of ability to find those who are looking for something. You come here at night, they'll find you. And that's all I can tell you.
All right, very well. And your name, sir. I don't believe we got that.
I don't believe you did.
Well, may I have it, so I know how to address you?
Come back alive, and then we'll talk.
Very well. Well, boys, I guess we have a assignment. Let's make our way. And I'll salute. I'll salute him with the fail salute.
Now hold on a second. How the fuck do you know that?
Let's just say, even though I have these pointy ears, I'm not all elf.
Oh, half elf are you?
Yeah.
Oh. He nods and turns away and picks up the blade of the sword he had stuck back into the furnace, and continues going on about his work, picking up the hammer and once again striking the hot metal.
Alright, guys. I think it is it's time for us to go on an adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
What do you all wish to do now?
Are we
Just
gonna?
wanna leave a
Yeah, I assume we'll leave the tent.
Yeah.
All right, you all evacuate from the blacksmith's tent and are now back out into the uncovered part of the sewer trade city. It's getting the sunlight that is shining through the grates from above is slowly dwindling away. You kind of get the idea it's going to be nighttime here pretty soon. And some of the shops are beginning to be torn down. and the goods packed up and the crates nailed back together.
I think we should hurry up and get out of here before it's too dark. I know you want to meet this person, but I think now is not a good time. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe we should leave it for another day. Now that we know how to get in contact with this person, I think it is better to let them find us than to find out.
Exactly. I think so too.
So back to Broken Mast. Maybe we escort Abba to his home, and he can show us a way out.
Sure, we can do this.
Sure.
Okay.
Alright, so yeah.
So Abba, from this central area, you know your way back home, as opposed to following the familiar path that you all came down the first time. Abba takes you to the opposite side of the city, towards the eastern part of the trade area. You cross the rickety bridges that are clean from the amount of foot traffic that has been seen, and then leading you back up the stone stairs that outline the side of the dome, back through the sewers. And Abba, you start to see halfling encampments pop up in and around you. You're fairly close to home.
Alright. Yeah, we're just about there. Would you guys like to come meet my mom?
I'm good. No, I'm good. Thank you.
Oh. Okay, well, I'm gonna kind of like direct them kind of towards the nearest, like the closest exit.
Okay.
And I assume I can kind of give them like directions to
Yeah.
get back to the Broken Mast.
Yeah. You guide them back to the entrance that you walked through the other day, yesterday at the marketplace. Archultas, when you venture out of the portcullis, the halfling giving you the directions. True. He did not warn you about the spider webs that you would walk into. However, unfortunately.
Before I go up, I turn around and I give Abba like a kind of like a half hug, at the side hug, and say.
Abba gives him a full hug on the legs.
And I kind of like tense up a bit, and I go, okay, friend, meet us at the Broken Mast, and we will set upon this mine.
Alright,
Tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow, friends.
All right, that's fair for me.
Okay.
And then I'll
While we're
climb.
walking, I want to talk to Art and go. I don't know how hot his mother is, but. But I do. Or I'm just gonna keep walking.
You know, you can think about his mother all you want, as long as you don't think about
I
mine.
was gonna.
I saw you looking at the picture. I saw you.
Listen, I was just looking. I mean, sorry. You have a hot mother, by the way. But
Oh
never
no.
mind. She's
He's
good.
gonna bang all our moms.
Anyway,
Toxic.
anyway, I'm not gonna bang my mother. It's not happening. It is not happening. I am. No. Let's get back to the inn. I've got a hot redhead in there.
Oh my fucking god.
Anyway, let's get back. I feel badly, by the way. I need to pee. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Cameron. Oh no, not Paimon. You shut up.
Holy fuck. Okay. Abba, as your friends walk away, you make your way over to your mother's tent. She's not there just yet. You figure she might still be out on the streets above, tidying up some of the vendor shops that she works for, the soup shops, the soup kitchen that she favorites, and continuously says that they have great soup, is the one that she works at.
I believe it.
They
do have good soup though.
They do have good soup. And Arthulthas and Lefyr, you all venture out of the portcullis, back into the merchants walk, and make your way back down the oddly familiar streets at this point, to get back to Broken Mast. The sun is getting a little bit lower in the sky. Dusk is about to settle in, and the tavern is opening, and the doors are opening and closing, as you start to see people starting to venture in and out. Is there anything you guys would like to say before you get into the tavern?
just gonna, you know,
I'm going to remember to wipe my feet.
I am not going to wipe my feet.
And then
Alright.
I'm going to just grab my key and wish everyone a good night.
Good night.
And then I will take my leave.
Guzor, I need a fucking bath!
Oh, god damn it, not again!
Please!
Ask your fucking redhead friend!
Which room is she in?
Alright, you fuck. Alright. You know the one!
Alright, I'm going. You have a good one. Good night, everyone.
And Lefyr, as you walk up the stairs, you see the room 1, 2, 3. You see 3 close as Arthrothos goes in, kind of waves goodbye for the good night for the evening. You pass 4. You get to 5 where you scratched out your name in the thing with L, LK, and you open the door, and then the redhead is sitting on your bed already.
Okay. I got those behind me.
All right. Well,
That was sick.
ladies and gentlemen, that concludes session 1, and that is where we will leave it tonight for session 1 of the Rearvland campaign, the Songs of Rearvland.